back. It's a brand new season of CGL.
This is just an absolute treat. These players are so damn good.
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
We're about to step to a whole new era of Overwatch esports. So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss.
Look who's starting it all off. It's Raven. No one necessarily figure out what is the right way to go just yet.
What a nice roll through from Peyton. Just gonna solidify everything from Mythos.
Does come back, and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill 4 anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters here.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
NKC, but the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Trades keep coming through. Laura, is going to be able to find these shots true.
Idu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes an Annabelle and immediately goes back to fine skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2-3. So back and forth.
Looking forward to seeing hopefully a good match here tonight. These are 2 kind of mid-tier teams as far as like the standings are concerned. So I'm thinking we should have a relatively close match tonight.
Yeah, and you bring it up. These 2 teams kind of sitting in the middle of both their groups here. This is a big matchup here for playoff implications. Right now, I believe the Vicious Outlaws coming into the season or into this game 3-2 on the season, while the Demon Kittens coming the opposite way in 2-3. So a win here for the Demon Kids keeps their hope alive, while the Vicious Outlaws, a win here does put them into a very, very comfortable spot with our final 2 weeks about to get started tomorrow here. But I mean, a lot of action has happened this week, and especially across this console open tier. However, I mean, these 2 teams are roaring and ready to go. And if I remember correctly, our first map of the night should be Busan.
I believe so. Yeah, if I'm recalling correctly, it's Busan, Eichenwald, Hanaoka. Oh, it came up already. Hesperanza and Junkertown. So I remember the first 3 because those are the only 3 that I've actually casted this week. Every game has been a 3-0.
I feel like it's been, as we get deeper and deeper into the season, you start to see that happen a lot more often. The playoffs is where we'll start to see maps 4 and 5. Granted, the EU SNO did provide us Esperanza for a little bit there, but I mean, we were talking about this coming into this series here. These 2 teams, like we said, mid-pack, and it's very hard to get a read on them considering some of the teams that these 2 teams have beaten. Both of them, I believe, have beaten Easy Panthers and Easy Panthers and No Lifers for 1, and the other one, both of them have beaten Easy Panthers, and one of these teams has a victory because of a bye week. So it's very hard to get to a good read of these 2 teams and how we really expect the series to go here tonight.
It is really difficult to tell just yet. Like there hasn't. It seems like they've beaten the Easy Panthers as you mentioned, and then just kind of been 3-0'd by every other team they've played. So it's like it's really difficult to tell what level they're at. But that also makes me think that we're probably going to see a relatively close game tonight. But with that being said, we can move on to the lineups now. And first, we're going to have the Demon Kittens here. We got Reveroni, Ruby, Spark, Pick a Pepper, and a Spec coming out tonight. And yeah, I mean, I got to be honest, I think I've actually played with Spark a few times. They're a really, really strong player. If this is the person that I think it is.
Yeah, and I've definitely seen Pika Pepper around before. I've seen Ruby on a couple teams. I don't think I've ever actually seen him play in a game yet. So this could be a very interesting thing here tonight. But Demonkins is the one team that does kind of make this series interesting overall. They have taken maps off of some incredibly strong teams, off of Snowfall. They went the distance against Vicious Inferno, another one of the Vicious orgs. And they took a map off of Beagle Bus, or the rebranded Short Bus team in the midseason playoffs. So this is a team that does have the opportunity here to surprise a lot of people. But on the other side, for the now branded Vicious Outlaws, you have the lineup here of Nero and Amity on that DPS line, Chicken on the tank, and then Crazy Turn and Hannah Banana on your support line.
Again, another really strong team. I'm pretty familiar with Crazy Turn. I've seen them play a few times. Generally speaking, I'm not super familiar outside of Crazy Turn with this team, if I'm being totally honest. So, do you know too much? Do you know too much, Dex?
I don't know a lot about this team, but like one thing I want to say about Vicious Outlaws and most importantly their org. I believe they have 6 or 7 teams here, all competing in the console open tier, and the majority of them, all but one, are sitting above 500. You don't see that a lot from orgs. They might, have 1 or 2 teams in tiers in the same tier at times, and normally one is rising towards the top and the other is kind of sitting towards the bottom. But shout out to the Vicious org here for having a lot of good teams here, being very competitive here in the open tier. But hey, Shadow, sounds like we're heading into our first map of the night.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get downtown as our first map as well. Nighttime downtown. I don't know if I've actually seen nighttime downtown before. I kind of like this. I kind of like all the lights. Looks like we're going to be seeing an almost mirror comp. We're seeing a difference of a Sojourn and a Widowmaker. So I'm gonna be curious to see if Ruby can get those high value picks on this Widow.
Yeah, and that's what the main difference right now between the tanks is, just the DPS lines, like you said here. And it really all comes down to if Ruby can land shots just like that. Hannah Banana taken out here early on, but Ruby now in the running for their life. You're going to be supported by their team, but getting rid of, now make it both supports here early, and Nero. Oh my goodness, Ruby has started off on fire.
I mean, that's what you have to do if you're going to run this Widowmaker. You have to get high value kills like that. Otherwise, why play the hero? And that's why you see this pick coming out over the Sojourn or even the Ashe for that matter, is that one-shot potential. That's massive. Pretty much as soon as Hannah Banana was taken out, that fight was won for Demon Kittens.
Yeah, and I mean, at that point, you're surprised to see the Vicious Outlaws kind of just stay in that fight as long as they did, because it basically built up to Crazy Turn and then Nero getting taken out. But now Demonkins, they're going to be able to set up here, and now you see Nero swapping over to the Tracer. Gonna have to go against Reveroni here, but the recall already being used by them, blinking away. But I love the kind of attention that Reveroni is giving to some of the Vicious Outlaws over here, as the rest of their team goes to point and actually does cap it.
Yeah, that's kind of a crazy flip, because now you have to win out this fight, and then Nero getting the pick on Reveroni is going to turn this fight all on its head.
Yeah, and look at how Vicious Outlaws is playing this now. They're playing behind corner to try and make sure that Ruby does not find a lot of value here. And a very, very smart change here for them early on. You see Reveroni come Nero come charging in, but not going to be able to find them there. Has to use the recall, but Visors are out now from them. Amity going to be able to shut down Pika Pepper, and Demonkins look like they're just going to back out of this one without their Brig.
And yeah, probably a smart play here. Just get the regroup, get the reset. You got to watch out for Nero, though, on this pulse. They might go for it here.
Now they're not going to use it just yet. Would have been a good opportunity, too, but they didn't want to use it that early and only on the Widow. They're going to hold it on for a little bit here, but they're probably expecting Ruby to go back up to that high ground, but I mean, Ruby is trying to be a little bit sneaky. Same thing with Nero, though. The Orbital Ray, though, coming out from Crazy Turn as Vicious Outlaws look to hold on to this point as well. But now you're seeing both support ultimates come out from the other side, and Ruby finding the value almost immediately, taking care of Crazy Turn. Spark getting rid of Hannah Banana as Amity tries to find anyone that they possibly can. Going to be able to shut down Ruby on that high ground, but this is going to be a lost fight here for the Vicious Outlaws. Amity just trying to stall out the point as long as they can. Maybe take one for the road. Not going to be able to do that. Now it's up to Nero just to stall out, but they're going to be able to find Pika Pepper before they eventually fall to their Tracer on the other side.
I mean, that's some solid stall, I gotta be honest. That was like an extra, what, like 10-15% we saw come out of Nero and Amity just by kind of existing a little bit longer. And it was a really expensive fight win for the Demonkins, and we're already seeing Chicken re-engage into this already. I don't know if this is the smartest play.
They have the bomb to get them out of a sticky situation if they need to. I don't dislike that kind of play for them, because it does take some attention off of members like Nero trying to get sub, but bomb not coming out here from Spark, not going to be able to get back into their mech. Bomb not coming out here from Chicken. Reveroni going to be able to get around the rest of their corner, but the rest of their team, they didn't die by the bomb other than Pika Pepper, but they sure did die.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. It ended up being a really, really smart re-engage. That just being able to DMX Spark like that and get them out of the picture so early was absolutely massive. And here we are now. We're in last fight, and there's not really much available for the Demon Kittens. Just Reveroni's Pulse Bomb, so it has to be big probably for them to win this fight.
Yeah, and because Hannah Bananas died very early on these past 2 fights, I mean, they have their own rally ready to go. Pulse Bomb does come out there from both sides, but Nero going to be able to find something there. The Bash going to be able to get rid of Reveroni, and now you're just seeing the Outlaws here clean up a very, very dominant fight or map win there for the Vicious Outlaws, considering that Ruby absolutely popped off to get everything started for the Demon Kittens.
And yeah, I mean that's the double-sided blade, if you will, of the Widowmaker, is that the Widowmaker's either getting a ton of picks like that, or not much is coming out of that role. Like that's just the downside of the hero. Like you kind of have to be landing headshot after headshot after headshot, otherwise it's going to require the other 4 players to get like every single kill. Like it's just tough. We are going to be seeing the Demon Kittens opt to swap onto an Orisa comp though, which I do like. I think it's going to be difficult though if Chicken is going to stay on this Diva for you to really get a lot of high value kills with the Orisa.
I mean, I like the swap because I just don't think Spark on the Diva was necessarily finding as much value as Chicken was last round. And just having a little bit more survivability will help you out here, especially as, you know, you are basically a bullet sponge for the entirety of the enemy team. You're going to have Amity building up railgun shots. You're going to have Nero building up to those pulse bombs incredibly quickly. So just having that ability just to sustain through so much. And look at how they're just controlling the small room right here. You do see Nero just trying to get into that backline, but they immediately have to recall. Now focusing on Spec, not going to be able to find them there, but Point is open. And looks like the Demon Kittens are going to try to drag the fight towards Point.
Yeah, I mean, probably a smart play, quite honestly. Force the fight on Point, make them run into your Orisa the best you can. Close there from Ruby, almost getting that kill.
Almost getting it. They almost lost their own life too, as Nero almost taking them out. But now Demon, much like last round, able to cap Point here first, but they need to kind of find a first fight win here. No one has died yet. Like, each team is playing very, very smart at the moment, just trying to play around corners, making sure they're not making the first mistake. But there is mistake number 1. It is Spark dying. Now the Demon Kittens trying to run for their life, but with this Vicious Outlaw team, they can play incredibly fast if they want.
Oh no, I have to imagine that they're going to try and run down this Ashe right here, get this late stagger kill, and that's going to be tough. You just got to, oh, wait a minute, Pulse Bomb might be coming.
Oh, that was certainly a pulse bomb there from Nero. Ruby got stuck between a rock and a literal hard place of bullets there, but now you're seeing Vicious Outlaws here investing the orbital ray, Spec investing their own, gonna be forced out of it there, but now the overclock coming out here from Amity, gonna find one. Terror Surge out from Spark, trying to get the combo. They're gonna be able to find one, but they lose their life as well. Pika Pepper popping that rally, just trying to get rid of Amity, but they had to use that shield to keep themselves alive and kicking here. They do find Crazy Turn, Nero taken out as well. Now it's all up to Chicken here. Demon Kittens could try to force this fight on Point, but Amity's still alive, gonna be able to find them here. Bob out on the field and no one to eat that damage. This should be a point flip over to the Demon Kittens.
It is certainly going to go the way of the Demon Kittens. It was pretty expensive, though. Cost you 4 ultimates, but the Vicious Outlaws did use 3 ults of their own. They do still have that bomb and the rally up and available, and Reveroni does have pulse ready. I imagine Rev is probably going to try and force out this rally if they can, potentially with the pulse, or maybe even get a pick with it, and we'll just have to see.
Reveroni watching one person go over their head. No one's checking corners. No one's checking corners. And Reveroni finds 2 off it there. Y'all, I know this isn't CSGO, but still, check your corners. There's always going to be someone there, and especially when there's a Tracer on the other side, they are looking for that opportunity.
Yeah, no, that's pretty wild. Just standing still right there in the corner, just never being found out. I can't believe that just worked. I
can't wait to see what Nero does, because they're going to try to do the exact same thing, I bet.
Oh yeah, no doubt. The ults are now super heavily in the favor of the Outlaws, though, so if you're the side of the Kittens, you want to try and prolong this fight as long as you can. Just try and get it to 99.
I mean, but you got rid of Amity early, so that railgun shot is out. Now you're trying to get rid of the Tracer on the other side. Nero has to use their recall to keep themselves alive here. But yeah, even though Vicious Outlaws do have the ultimate advantage, if they keep on losing members early on, they're not going to have the chance to use them here, especially 90% for the Kittens.
No, absolutely. Dex over here trying to recruit the Kittens to the org, just get more people in there. I see your play, but here we are, 99, just like that.
And they're going to be able to find Reveroni. You do see the rally come out here from Hannah Banana, and Demon Can just going to respect that here. Let the point be swapped over here, but still, Vicious Outlaws going to be holding on to 3 ultimates here.
Yeah, I mean, they do manage to get the rally out of the Vicious Outlaws. The Kittens are building up to ults as well. We're going to have the Orbital Rays dueling, basically, on this next engage. Pulse Bombs. It's going to be, like, basically every ult going up against each other here. So this is going to be last fight, too.
Bob coming out here from Ruby. I love that they just play it straight over to point. You do see the Orbital Ray come out from Crazy. Bob coming out there, going to be able to find one. Bob Bomb coming out there from Chicken, not going to be able to find anyone, but the Pulse Bomb from Reveroni going to be able to find one here. Demon Kittens, with help from Ruby, just throwing Bob straight on the point, going to be able to get... Oh my goodness, the flick! Nero, should not be able to do that, but they're somehow able to. Chicken falls, and Demon Kittens, after kind of being shut down on that first map towards the back half of it, come here into the second point and force a third.
I mean, Ruby just over here continuing to hit crazy shots. We saw it on the Widow map 1, and there it was right there at the end on map 2. Can we get that like in a slow motion replay? Like it's some, like, because that was wild. I know the answer. I know the answer, but you know, I still gotta say it.
No from our producer there.
I still gotta say it. You know.
Twitch, clip it, and then we can, you know, edit it later.
Exactly. There we go. That's the play. Looks like the Kittens are gonna come out on roughly the same thing, just trading the cast for the Ashe. And Outlaws looks like they're gonna mirror the Orisa here, so. I kind of like this. I kind of like this. I kind of like this for the Kittens. They seem to be really doing better with the Orisa that last map, so getting the Outlaws to mirror them should favor them.
Yeah, like I said, them going over to the Orisa was mostly just have a sustain thing, because Spark always likes to seem to play a little bit aggressively, maybe a little bit far forward from their team, so having that survivability on the Orisa helps them out a lot here. But now Chicken getting absolutely bullied by the entirety of the Kittens right there. Point is open. The Outlaws looking to back up, gonna lose Hannah Banana, but they will get the trade out on the Reveroni. But if you're the Kittens, I would be having someone go towards point.
You know, somebody's over there, I think. I can see it capping. Somebody's there. They got it taken care of. And here comes the re-engage already from the Outlaws. This is really quick.
This is a team that does not want to play slow, especially with Nero in that backline just shutting down Spec already. Ruby falling as well. Amity, trying to get rid of Pika Pepper. But, I mean, you're just seeing everyone for Demon Kittens just falling here incredibly quickly. And, I mean, it's been the story of these first 3 points here. Demon Kittens cap first. Vicious Outlaws come right back and immediately take the point.
Yeah, no, that re-engage was so good from the Outlaws to just really deny any sort of point presence. And now we're seeing Crazy Turn already has this Orbital Ray up, so we're just going to see that engage here shortly, I have to imagine, as soon as the Demon Kittens try and go.
Yeah, the longer though they hold on to this, the more opportunity they'll Spec to build up to their own. But hey, Spec's out. Yeah, this is exactly the thing you do here. You pop your own Orbital Ray. You pop the Overclock as well. Amity with 2, getting a third one there with the assist. But it's a nice, clean team fight win there for the Vicious Outlaws as the Demokins invested a huge ultimate there and ended up losing.
Yeah, I mean, you use the Terra Surge, so it's not too bad. Because, again, the Outlaws are going to have their Terra Surge as well as a Pulse Bomb available. That could be a nice combo, actually. But now the Demon Kittens have their Orbital Ray, and we know how strong that ult is, and Nero is looking for this Pulse Bomb right now.
Terra Surge coming out. There's the Pulse Bomb. Not going to be able to get that combo, but they will find Ruby after the fact here. However, you do lose Crazy Turn. And, I mean, Spec falls there as well. Rally coming out from Pika Pepper just a little bit too slow. Reveroni, though, trying to keep their team alive in this fight. But it looks like they're just going to try to drag it towards point as well here. But it doesn't matter as Spark cleans up the final 2. Nero, though, still alive. Looks like Ruby coming out of spawn just to be able to put a bullet into their head.
And, I mean, it really was just a matter of time for that fight to eventually go their way once the Demon Kittens had taken down the 2 supports of the Outlaws. And now we're seeing not really much available in terms of ults for really either side. I mean, you have Deadeye, which is not really too strong of an ultimate. If you catch somebody, awesome, but like,
or
that's kind of what happens.
Or that, yeah. or just that. I mean, you didn't even get the really good zoning tool there, and no one on the Kittens really noticing that Vicious Outlaws are capping the point right now. Ruby gonna try to get rid of Nero here, but Pika Pepper with 2 early picks there on that high ground fight. Nero, though, will be able to win out on the point and get the point to flip because of that. Even though Demonkins pretty handily won the team fight, they're gonna give up a little bit of percentage here, and you still have Chicken here on point for the Outlaws. It just gets stalled out a little bit more, and Nero will be able to do even more.
Yeah, I mean, great job from the side of the Outlaws, just getting more and more percentage. I mean, this is so worth right now. Like, you just got an extra, what, like 20% just because you ran back and capped point like that? Now you put yourself in one-fight territory for the Outlaws, and you have the ultimates to really take this next fight. You got Rally, you got Pulse, you're about to have your overclock as well, and look at this immediate engage from Chicken again.
And I mean, they want to do it here fast, with a rally coming out here from Hannah Banana, try to provide Outlaws here just some encouragement throughout the early part of the fight, but Chicken went a little bit too far away. They went out the wrong door. So one huge ultimate gone, not going to lead to anything there for the Outlaws, and instead, it's Spark and the Kittens looking to play a little bit aggressively here.
And that's exactly what you want to see if you're the Kittens. Great play from their side. They've got their own rally and pulse bomb. I think this pulse bomb from Reveroni has to be huge here because the Outlaws have every ultimate advantage in their favor right now.
Overclock coming out, Orbital Ray out on the field as well. Everyone for the Kittens looking to run, but Spec not going to be able to run fast enough there as the Pulse Bomb going to be able to find them. Pulse Bomb out from Reveroni, won't find them, but Ruby will. However, Demonkins have pretty much lost out on this fight here, and honestly, if you're Ruby, I would just try backing out because you, at this point, are the touch. You do find Crazy Turn, and it looks like you're going to be that. You don't get the touch. You don't get the touch. Wait, Spark has to come out there fast, but there's no touch there at the end from Ruby. So close, yet so far away. Vicious Outlaws going to take our first map.
And this does look like it's going to be a close game like we were hoping for, so I'm personally happy to see that. Strong plays from both teams throughout the course of the map, honestly. And, I mean, it just came down to at the very end, the Outlaws had 4 ultimates for last fight, and the Kittens had Pulse Bomb. So, like, it just, you know, the Pulse Bomb had to be massive to compensate for the fact that you're just walking into 4 ultimates.
Yeah, and that was something I was really starting to notice there throughout that first map, is the fact that Demonkins, when they invested ultimates, they were normally over-investing them. They had multiple times where they came into it with a huge ultimate advantage and would blow all 4 or maybe even all 5 of their ultimates just to win one team by putting them at such a disadvantage. On the other side, Vicious Outlaws, I mean, they would do it too, but they would do it in the right moments towards the end of maps where they knew if they got a team kill, they would get the point flip and there would be no contest. It's just the difference of when they really were coming out there. Vicious Outlaws, though, especially in that final point, did a good job of holding onto ultimates, but also using ultimates to force out 1 or 2 ultimates from the other side, which really helped them secure that map win.
Yeah. I'm thinking about one fight where all the Outlaws used was Rally, and then the Kittens used, I think it was like Terra Surge and maybe Overclock at the same time. So it's like, yeah, you'll take that trade because now you got Orbital Ray coming back, and there's no powerful DPS ult to try and like immediately one-shot you out of the Orbital Ray.
Yeah, and I mean, especially on that final map, Ruby really never got a lot of value out of the Deadeyes. We even talked about it, really finding it's not a good ultimate anymore for getting kills. It's good for zoning, but the one time we watched Ruby use the ultimate, they got javelined out of it there, which is normally what you see happen a lot going up against an Orisa on the other side. But like you said, or like we kind of said coming in this one here, these were 2 tough teams to get a read on considering their records and who they've played, but how they played that first map really did impress me from both sides, and I do think we have a start of the series on our hands.
No, absolutely. I'm curious to see if the teams are going to opt for the Diva or the Orisa going into Eichenwald. So far, that's all that we've seen. Maybe we could see something different come out, but I just doubt it. It seems like that's, for the most part, the only 2 tanks we ever see, except from Beagle Bus, who likes to play just whatever tank they're feeling at that exact moment. But for the most part in this tier, all I've really seen is Orisa and Diva.
I mean, that one surprised me. They're 2 of the strongest tanks at the moment. So, I mean, that's what we would expect. The one time I've been able to cast this week, I got Nightmare rotation. So I did not necessarily see a normal comp from either of the teams. So like I really do expect that it will be the Orisa, it will be the Diva, maybe even a little bit of Winston here or there. And the oddball out or the odd one out, I would like to say is probably Sigma. I feel like Eichenwald, especially those first 2 points, Sigma does find a lot of value just being able to, you know, poke out a lot of members of the other team from a distance.
Yeah, Sigma's definitely underrated right now. You can still make a poke comp work very, very well. I think it's just hasn't been being played that much due to Juno Brig. Like teams just don't want to play Bap Alari or Bap Zen because Juno Brig exists. Like the Juno ult, like I always say, that orbital ray is a moving bongo that heals people. So it's like a crazy ultimate.
Yeah, and I mean, even coming into this season, a lot of people thought that Juno was going to get nerfed a little bit. And granted, she was, but not as much as people were really hoping for. And even Brig, everyone kind of was hoping they would get nerfed as well. They did, but again, not as much as people were really hoping for. That's why you still see them a lot. And like, there wasn't any big changes outside of Sombra being found dead in a ditch. But I mean, now that we're loading in here, this is kind of what I expect to see from the Demon Kittens. Vicious Outlaws, they have some time here to play with it. They could go dive if they really wanted to. Oh my goodness.
Are we seeing Bastion May? No, okay, May Ash. Interesting. Okay. This is an interesting play here. I wasn't expecting to see May, but I don't dislike it because you can still have the Brawly sort of comp since you've got the Orisa going here. But Chicken, yeah, Chicken's pick is going to be everything here. Are they going to play the Diva or the Orisa? That is the question coming in here.
I mean, it's going to probably end up being the Orisa. I feel like that's what they look better on, and yeah, it's what it's going to be, but there's really no big shocks other than maybe Reveroni here on the May.
Yeah, it is pretty surprising to see May. I love May, like just due to the way you can just play smart around these walls, but it's going to be hard to catch somebody on this team with a wall.
And you have to use him at the best opportunity too as well. Like it comes out right there, but you don't catch Chicken off, so you immediately have to have your whole team back up. But Vicious Outlaws just gonna take that opportunity to just say, okay, we're gonna come in really, really fast. Narrow, gonna be able to find Spec in that back line. Ruby trying to keep themselves alive here, but being pressured out by Amity. Now that high ground, they have to just play around corners here for a moment. They will fall down to that low ground, but you still just see Vicious Outlaws here going straight for point, pushing Spark back. Reveroni gonna be the next one to fall here for the Kittens, and honestly, it's going to be a very scrappy fight from here on out for the Kittens.
Yeah, I mean, you see Reveroni does manage to get a lot of ult charge on that May, mostly just from freezing Chicken for a large majority of time there. But, oh, nice kill on the Spec as well. And here goes Ruby getting taken down as well. It's going to be tough to get, like, super high value when you're just getting ran down like this. Like, just look at this. Everybody's just going to die here. This is going to be huge stagger kills.
Absolutely, and all the you see Reveroni just jumping off the map. Chicken, though, not going to allow them to, but I mean, basically right now, Outlaws are going to be able to get through the door opening and start pushing it up the hill here. And I mean, Nero has just had this free range to do whatever they want so far this map. Like, they have been finding Spec out every time. They shut down Ruby there, and honestly, if you're the Demon Kittens, you might be considering making some swaps here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you may need to mirror this, oh, nice Terra Surge, but you may need to mirror this Tracer because this Tracer is a problem from Nero right now.
Orbital Ray coming out there from Crazy Turn. You do see Spark, though, try to re-engage here, trying to force back the Outlaws here a little bit. Gonna be able to do just that, but you notice the cart there in the background. It is steadily moving at a breakneck pace here, but you do see the Demon Kittens finally getting out there to contestant Nero, though. Oh no. Oh no, they do it again there. The Rally going to be able to keep Pick a Pepper alive, but you lose Ruby as well. This Rally now needs to be able to at least confirm one kill back to at least keep your hopes alive in this fight. Not going to be able to do that. The Terror Surge coming out from Spark, going to try to get some help there with the Ice Wall, and it's going to lead to one, make it 2 kills there, but Amity pops her own overclock, looking for the second one there. Reveroni looks like they're trying to jump off the map there. Pick a Pepper. Oh, you're in a very, very tight corner, making it very easy for Amity to find that kill, and again, Vicious Outlaws now looking to just continue pushing this cart. Ruby swapping over to the Tracer is an interesting pick.
I mean, I think it's just to try and just keep Nero off the back line, just have that mark going constantly. The Demon Kittens do have the ultimates for this next fight. Like, this Blizzard's got to come out from Reveroni. They've had it for quite a while now. And that Nero just taking down the Tracer again, just dominating this map right now.
Like I said, Nero's just had free range to kind of do whatever they want. No one's really checking on the orbital ray coming out here from Spec, and if you are the Demokins, you need to be winning this fight. Pulse Bomb online for Nero again, but again, still, no one in the backline notices them, and they find another double kill with a Pulse Bomb. Amity gonna be able to shut down Spark there, but you're seeing the Pulse Bomb come out there from Ruby, not gonna find the same value that Nero's gotten, and it's gonna be point B capped here for Vicious Outlaws with a healthy 4.5 minutes to go.
And again, I mean, Nero just dominating with that Tracer in the backline, not able to get really marked right now. I think Reveroni has to swap this May. They were keeping Nero in pretty good check on map number 1, and Ruby not being the Tracer player is going to have a much more difficult time with that. So that's why you see the Widow come out. Oh, that was a nice shot.
They might not be a Tracer player, but they are definitely a Widow player. We've been proved that so far tonight, and right now, this pick has to basically carry you through this last point if you are Demokins. You need Ruby to have as much freedom, as much space to find those headshots, because that's the only thing that slowed down this Outlaws team this entire map.
Oh yeah, most definitely. That is the biggest key point here. Ruby needs to have free reign, take off as many heads as they possibly can. I see Reveroni has opted to play the Venture here, which is an interesting choice. I did not think that was going to come out tonight.
I don't dislike it, but you still need to be able to find some picks right here. Pika Pepper Spark out of the fray. Ruby being pressured out here. Amity focusing in on Reveroni there, but Nero going to be able to shut down Ruby there. And again, Vicious Outlaws, they had one small hiccup there, and now back to pushing.
And back to it, and don't look now, but Nero's about to have this Pulse Bomb, and Amity as well has Overclock. Here you go, free shots taken from Amity.
Amity looking for anyone they can to try to put as much damage as they can into Spark, who does have that Terror Surge ready to go, but Reveroni going to be able to shut down Nero, who did use their Pulse Bomb there. Doesn't find anyone this time around, but Amity finding Spec out there again. Demokins, you need to be able to clean up this fight here. Getting rid of Chicken would be a good idea. Ruby just trying to keep themselves alive. They know where Amity is. The slide going to come out to keep themselves alive, but they do lose Reveroni on point. However, you give Ruby this time and this space, you're going to be able to have one headshot come out, maybe two, as everyone on the Vicious Outlaws trying to run for cover, but you cannot run fast enough away from Ruby.
And Ruby doing it again, trying to get this 360 shot off, it looks like. I'm not sure what that was. That was some real difficult angles.
Call of Duty montages are alive and well here in Overwatch, but Ruby not going to be able to find that one. But look at Demokins now here, Shadow.
Oh yeah, they have every ult advantage in the book here. They just need to not blow all of them in this next fight. Just pop the Orbital Ray and maybe the Terra Surge, and you should be able to win this fight. Like, you don't need that much.
There's the Visor. There's the Orbital Ray coming out. Immediately, you're going to have the Drill Dash take care of Chicken, and the just melee take care of Nero there. So that's going to be able to win you this fight. You held on to two of them, and you're about to have a third one built up as well. So very, very smart there by the Demokins.
Yeah, great ult usage there, not just blowing all your ults again. Now you can mirror the rally from Hannah Banana that's most likely going to come out, so you can even that out. And you've got the Terra Surge as well. It probably is going to have to be Reveroni having a great play with this Venture ultimate. That's going to be the key here.
Rally coming out here from Pika Pepper, trying to catch the Vicious Outlaws off guard. Ruby going to be able to find Chicken there, and without your tank, you really can't do a lot here if you're the Outlaws, and they recognize that almost immediately and back out. But Nero going to be hiding in the back in the hallways a little bit.
One thing worth noting here is that the Vicious Outlaws did not burn any ultimates, so it's looking like we might end up in that situation that we saw last map where they just have a ton of ultimates in one fight territory. But where the cart is might not be one fight territory, so it's gonna be close here. Nero getting in position to try and take down Ruby.
They're going to be able to as well. Not going to be able to find them out, but you do see Chicken find Spec out as well. They will trade out on the Hannah Banana, but Vicious Outlaws investing in their own Orbital Ray here to try to clean up this fight. Reveroni, I think the last one alive, but only going further into that backline. They're not necessarily going to help out.
I mean, yeah, Reveroni's stuck in a tough spot. Pulse Bomb does come out onto them, so at least you get the Pulse Bomb out while you're nowhere near the action. So that's got to be like some kind of value, right?
Yeah, and Ruby immediately coming back out into the fight, finds two almost instantly here. And if you're Nero now, you're just trying to stay alive because you are the touch at this moment. You do see Chicken make the swap, but those torpedoes from Spec going to be able to shut down Nero.
Yeah, how do you stop a tracer that's hard to hit? Just use a move that automatically locks on. Great use of the torpedoes there. And the kill on the ball before they even get an opportunity to touch is actually kind of wild from a character that can have 1200 HP.
Every slowdown, stun in the game that was presence on the Demon Kittens came out right there to stop that ball. But hey, give it up to the Demon Kittens as well. Vicious Outlaws were just rolling through that map for the first 2 points, and then like we kind of said, Ruby swapping over to that Widowmaker had to make the difference. And I really think on that final point there, it really did.
Yeah, like Widow, the thing about Widow is you have to respect the Widow and you have to respect the angles that the Widow is holding. So it makes you play totally differently with your own positioning as a team. So the Vicious Outlaws just weren't able to play nearly as much in the open as they were without the Widow being on the field. So it changes the dynamic of the entire game when you have a Widow that's out there hitting shots like that. And I do like this. I like seeing Reveroni on this tracer here. They can have a solid chance of checking Nero because I think they were marking Nero very, very effectively on map number 1. So I see no reason why they wouldn't be able to again.
Yeah, and I mean, we could get into the conversations that I think a lot of people are starting to have right now with Widow being insanely overpowered, but at the same point, you have to be good at aiming, which is one thing Ruby has been showing to us throughout this entire series, that they are the hit scan for a reason. When they were playing the Tracer, it wasn't their best, but they were still doing good. But you've seen them play Ashe, you've seen them play Cassidy, you've seen them play Widow, and they've popped off. And please, they land the headshot, but they landed on the chicken.
I mean, Dubs had to leave after that. I would have too. Like, you just see the headshot come out again. Ruby just going to need to get in some solid position here. It's going to be a lot tougher on the attack to try and get value out of this Widow, but you're going to have to hit something like that to really get value out of the Widow. Nice shot and melee from Ruby.
Yeah, I mean, again, the old 1-2 punch combo in there onto Nero really slows them down here a lot and allows Demikins here to play aggressively, something that the Vicious Outlaws are doing a lot in their attacking round here. And look, they're already forcing them back. You might see a last-second touch come out here from Chicken, but actually, they're just not even going to do it. They're just going to give up the point here and just try to hold at the arch.
And, I mean, you lose Chicken in the process, so that's kind of tough. Like, you're going to continue getting pushed. This looks very, very reminiscent of what we were seeing from the Vicious Outlaws on their attack. Chicken swapping to this D.Va, probably a smart pick. Gonna try and deal with Ruby just with the direct dive from the D.Va. I like this pick. Oh no.
Oh, Spark, you had a couple chances there to keep yourself alive, but you missed out every one. You failed the quick time events there, and now the rest of your team is gonna suffer for it here. Spec, a little bit of a bad situation right here, but gonna get those health packs from Pika Pepper. Nero has to keep themselves alive here, but really no big change coming out here from Demikins just yet.
No, and I wouldn't expect anything just yet. It'll take a couple of fights of Ruby just getting attacked by multiple people for them to be forced to swap off of this Widowmaker. But until then, I mean...
She knows.
There you go.
Ruby had to hear the drop down right there. That opens up a lot right now for Demikins, especially as they're playing very far up and not really pushing the card at all. They're starting to get it now. Ruby looking for that next headshot right there, but everyone playing around corners. Reveroni going to be taken out, and Vicious Outlaws want to end this little engagement right here very quickly with the orbital ray coming out. Ruby will still get their one onto Amity, but it will be the Vicious Outlaws coming out on top.
Yeah, I mean, great orbital ray usage there from the Vicious Outlaws. And look at this stagger kill. Not going to be able to get it, though. They do have to bail out, does Chicken. That's the only ult they use, and they managed to save all of their other ones. Watch out for Nero here. Yeah, going for the triple blink over the roof pulse bomb here onto Ruby. Calling it right now. That's what they're going for.
It wouldn't surprise me, especially with how the pulse bombs have been thrown out this map by both teams. But there's the stick. Not going to be able to find the kill. The orbital ray coming out from Spec and the rally going to be able to make sure that no one dies up there. They're going to be able to get the DMAC there on a Chicken. Their own bomb coming out, but they're trying to get rid of Chicken. Pika Pepper going to be able to find it right there. And now Demonkin's trying to push the cart here a little bit more. Without the tank, I mean, this is your best opportunity here to maybe try to find a couple more stagger kills, but Nero going to be able to shut down Ruby. So there goes your big hitter out. Spark, though, going to be able to find Amity as they go on that high ground, or Terra Surge coming out there. Very interesting use of it there, but still, Demonkin slowly pushing the cart now, but I think the Vicious Outlaws are perfectly fine with giving up the space.
No, absolutely. They've still got the rally and the overclock here, so they'll be able to re-engage this just fine. Nero getting in position on Ruby already. Probably going to get this pick here shortly.
They're going to get that position right there. 2 ultimates coming out here from Vicious Outlaws. Going to lead to 2 kills there in that backline. Nero taking care of that DPS line while the rest of the Kittens just try to get themselves out of this fight alive. But Spark maybe missed the memo on where everyone was trying to go. They will find Hannah Banana, but they will eventually lose themselves there. Now their 2 supports are in a world of hurt.
Oh yeah, this is a tough spot to be stuck in. Reparoni taking out Nero though could be pretty good. There goes the pulse bomb. Wait just a minute. Chicken losing mech.
Spec. Oh, Spec, you walked off the map. Ruby, though, gonna be coming back out on the Soj, gonna be able to find Chicken after that D-Mech. Reveroi now trying to push this cart up here, has to just blink themselves out of that one to keep themselves up here. But if you're the Demonkins, you have to play fast now, knowing Chicken's out of the fray for a moment.
Oh, absolutely. You need to engage this like right now. You need to engage this 10 minutes ago somehow.
Orbital Ray out here from Crazy, but it's going to be Chicken finding Pika Pepper as they re-engage back into the fight. They find Spark out as well, looking for the triple kill here, but probably not going to get it just yet. But again, a nice kind of hold here for the Outlaws.
And yeah, we got 2 minutes left. If you're the side of Demon Kittens, you just need to take this next fight and you'll be able to get to point number 3. But you're at a pretty solid disadvantage, I would say, right now, just because the way Nero has been sticking these pulse bombs lately, I imagine it's going to be tough for you to engage with your ultimates before Nero goes for something.
Spark wants to disengage on that high ground, but there's the pulse bomb stick, and yet again, it finds 2. Amity gonna be able to find the 3rd one right there. It's almost a C9. That would have absolutely been the cherry on top of that fight right there, but the Outlaws gonna come out with a victory in that fight as we enter the final 90 seconds.
All right, so this is your fight if you're Demon Kittens. Now you're exactly where you want to be. Reveroni swapping onto the Mei. Interesting swap here. I guess you're going to try and focus Chicken out of this mech as fast as you can with the Mei. But you really have to make good use of these support ultimates in particular, because that's going to be what wins you this fight if you're about to win this fight.
Fortify coming out there from them. The rally as well out from Pika Pepper. Everything is out on the playing field. Bomb out from Chicken. Gonna be able to find one, but Reveroni gonna be able to find Chicken. Kills being traded back and forth here. Reveroni finds Crazy. The cart so close yet so far away, but it's up to Nero just to kind of blink around the point as long as they can and hope that their teammates come back in time. But that was, you know, a far cry from that right there. Demonkins, though, not the 4.5 minutes that the Outlaws had, but still have a good solid 2 minutes.
No, and it does cost you both support ults. I figured that's what it was going to cost to take that fight, so that's not anything crazy or out of the ordinary. You've got your Terra Surge, and you've got that overclock. Now you need Reveroni to try and get this Blizzard. You got to try and catch the back line with something when you do this next fight, because you got to do something before Crazy Turn manages to get their Orbital Ray online.
Ruby has this. Oh my goodness, the overclock coming out now from them. The Ruby getting another 1-2 punch combo right there. One that I didn't even know was physically possible. Gonna be able to find that they're forcing back Vicious Outlaws here a little bit, but someone needs to come get a touch on the cart, and looks like it's gonna be Chicken with the Orbital Ray coming out here from Crazy, as Vicious Outlaws now fighting to keep this map alive, but no one's on the cart. The Blizzard is out on the field. Reveroni gonna be able to find Chickens. Now up to the rest of the Outlaws here, do what they can. The pulse bomb online, but hey, it's gone. They are dead. Ruby finds 2 right there, and the Demon Kittens gonna be able to bounce back after that close Busan loss to win even closer Eichenwald.
That was beautiful ult usage from the Demon Kittens right there. They got their Blizzard online just in time, soloed out Chicken, and then there you go. It's a lot easier to deal with a team as soon as you deal with a tank than it is trying to deal with them, with having that Orisa on the field. So, like, again, great ult usage coming out from the Kittens. They kited that Orbital Ray perfectly from Crazy Turn. Well, I guess they didn't exactly kite it. They just froze Chicken, who was trying to use it. So, great either way. And, close series already. I like what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, especially after that first map, we kind of expected that it was going to be something like that, but with how fast that Vicious Outlaws kind of moved that cart through the map in their first attack round, I thought maybe the Vicious Outlaws had figured something out against Demon Kittens and had shut them down. But Ruby making that swap over to the Widowmaker was a big difference there. Probably the only reason that Vicious Outlaws did not complete that map, making sure they had an opportunity to win the map on their own. And I believe Ruby found the final 2 kills there in that engagement, but a lot of help came from those ultimates that Demonkins had, which was a big thing that we talked about after that first map, where they were using multiple ultimates in one fight to try to win it, which they mostly did, but they put themselves at such a disadvantage after that.
No, they were doing a much better job of just popping like 2 ultimates, winning the fight, and moving on. Like the fight to cap second point, they just popped the orbital ray and the rally to make sure that they absolutely capped it. That's all you needed. So you saved all your other ults for the upcoming next fight, which is what then won them the map. So them not burning those ults is the reason that they just won this map.
Yeah, it absolutely is. But with that being the end of our second map, we're going to throw it over to a quick break. But y'all, we have a series on our hands. You're not going to want to miss map 3 and the rest of it. So we'll be right back. right, welcome back everyone from that halftime break there. Demon Kittens getting the victory on Eichenwald there to tie the series up at 1. And Shadow, we said after Busan that we expected this to be a series, and Demon Kittens delivered that to us with that victory there. So now going to a best of 3 where the next map is going to be Hanaoka here. And it's always very interesting to see how teams play clash maps, because you could just come out on what you have been running throughout this entire series, but there are some teams that just kind of try to switch it up a little bit and run something completely different.
Yeah, no, I've seen some teams run out on like pure Junker Queen rush because they're like, that's what we play on this map. But it seems like, at least recently, most teams have just continued to play the Orisa on this map. Like, it hasn't changed up. There was a point maybe like a week or two ago where I would see more of that Queen swap on this map with like a Lucio rush, but it seems like teams are pretty set on playing the Juno Briggs, sometimes the Juno Ana instead. Just depends on what their flavor is, I suppose. These teams have been playing purely Juno Briggs, so I kind of expect to see more of just what we were seeing on Eichenwald and Busan.
Yeah, and that's been a very interesting thing to see throughout the series. Even when both teams are running Diva, it was still Juno Brig. It would be a very interesting thing to see if either of these teams decide to swap off of that back line that they've been running throughout this entire night, even though the DPS lines, for the most part, have been very, very different. I mean, we've talked about Ruby basically being a dead eye no matter what hero they're playing. And I mean, we've seen Reveroni play a lot of different characters, May, Tracer, even saw him play a little bit of Venture, which did help him on that defensive hold of Eichenwald. But Amity and Nero, they've been popping off in their own right as well. Nero has been someone who has found so much value out of a pulse bomb that it's almost a guaranteed 2 kills every time they throw it out.
No, they're doing a great job of just landing those sticks onto the Brig over and over again. And when you land it onto Hannah Banana like that, typically Crazy Turn is right there, because the reason you play the Brig with the Juno is to kind of protect the Juno, sort of like you do with Ana Brig, same sort of concept. So it's just been getting both supports over and over again. And then it's just an instant fight win for the Outlaws in that case. I'm really curious if the Outlaws are actually about to run out on May Bastion, because that would be something to behold for sure.
And I think it would actually work against what I believe the Demon Kids are going to probably come out on, which will be a May, and Ruby was hovering the Tracer.
It is looking like we're going to be seeing that Tracer. So yeah, this is going to be tough. It's going to be really difficult for Ruby to get in on these DPS and that support in general. I see this Tracer having a really difficult time right now.
Nice ice wall there from Reveroni, but I mean, so much damage on the other side immediately breaks it down. Ruby, their main goal right now is to be trying to get into that back line, and your main goal, if you're Spark, is to make sure you don't do that again. Amity, though, gonna be able to take out Pika Pepper there with some help from Hannah Banana. They find Reveroni, and this is honestly kind of how I expected this first fight to go.
Yeah, you just don't have the equal frontline damage, so it's just a lot more difficult for you to break the May wall. So what we're seeing instead is Reveroni opt to go onto the Venture. I still think it's going to be really difficult for the side of the Kittens to break through this front line. And look at Ruby just sitting here, just taking a nice gander over everybody.
Man, if they had a pulse bomb, it would go crazy here. But in that back line, they have to try to get rid of Crazy. They're not going to be able to find the kill there, but Hannah Banana will fall. Amity, though, going to be able to immediately get rid of Reveroni right there by taking them out. But this Bastion is going to be a big problem here for the Outlaws. I mean, the Kittens here. They need to try to get rid of it here very, very quickly, because the longer you allow it to live, the more opportunity it's going to have to put out so much damage. And I love how the Outlaws are actually playing around Amity for the most part here. Chicken is trying to safeguard them. Nero going to be able to find Ruby there. And I mean, the orbital ray coming out here from Crazy Turn, and look at what that does to the Kittens. Everyone is running for the hills.
And I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what you have to do. Trying to deal with a Bastion and an orbital ray just does not sound like something I really want to do if I'm them. And look at all this damage this Bastion's just outputting. And I guess Blizzard just got canceled there by Nero, so that is tough.
That is that, and they're so close to capturing this point B to send into point A, but Ruby finding Hannah Banana will slow down Vicious Outlaws here, and they might, yeah, it looks like they're going to give up a lot of that percentage. They had actually all of it gone. Terror Surge coming out here now from Chicken. Orbital Ray coming out from Spec, a little bit too late right there, but Spark trying to find some value with it, not going to be able to do it there. Does do a lot of damage to Chicken, though. Reveroni, though, with 2, Spark will finally shut down Chicken, and it looks like we're going to be heading back to point C here.
some way, somehow, the Kittens managed to flip that fight in their favor. It was expensive, but the Vicious Outlaws burnt most of their ultimates too, so you're really not too mad about it. The Outlaws are coming up on double support ults though, so this next fight is going to be a tough one for the side of the Kittens. You need to try and take out Crazy Turn before they manage to build up this orbital ray, or that's pretty much going to be the fight not going in your favor at that point.
Nice ice wall there by Nero. Gonna slow down the Demon Kittens here for a moment. Spark gonna be able to find Amity, who does swap over to the Cassidy rally, though out from Hannah Banana will find one. Kills just being traded back and forth here, make it 3 consecutive times of just a kill trade. But it looks like the Demon Kittens are gonna try to get this cap or point cap going fast here. Shield bash coming out from Hannah Banana to keep themselves alive here, but Ruby gonna be able to find them. And I mean, Ruby has been a standout player here for the Demon Kittens so far. No matter what they're playing, they are just a scary, scary opponent.
No, absolutely. They are dominating on every hero they decide to play. They're going to look for this Pulse Bomb right now. Oh, I think they might have a good chance of getting it too.
Orbital Ray, though, coming out to slow them down here for a moment. Amity fighting Spark. The Pulse Bomb coming out, but hey, the Javelin Spin says that the Pulse Bomb's not going to do anything here. Amity immediately turns back and gets that headshot right there. Hannah Banana taking care of Reveroni, and for the second straight time, the Outlaws taking point C.
Back and forth so far from both of these teams, just trading these 2 points. We're seeing Ruby back onto that signature Ash, but now this fight is where it gets interesting, because you've got double support ults online for the Demon Kittens. The Demon Kittens really need to not burn all of their ults here. They have the advantage. Just don't let Spark die right here.
You let Spark die right there, though. Or the Tectonic Shocks coming out here from Reveroni, trying to find what they can. Nera does use the Blizzard here, but the Tectonic Shocks not going to lead to anything. So 1 huge ultimate gone there for Demon Kittens. And honestly, this might be Vicious Outlaws capping point B, especially with Amity fighting Ruby out.
Yeah, Spark getting caught out like that so early just prevents either one of those support ultimates that you had as the Demon Kittens from getting any value, because they weren't able to pop them due to losing their tank so early. So now here you are, you're pushed all the way back to point E, and you're going to be forced to use ultimates just to cap this point out, and it is a tough spot to be in if you're Demon Kittens.
I mean, but if you're the Vicious Outlaws, I think you're okay losing this point and having the Demon Kittens force out some ultimates here, like Spec already investing the Orbital Ray before the fight, or before the point is even open. No one dies as well, so that's a huge ultimate gone now, and the Outlaws could re-engage right back in with one of their own.
And that is most likely what's going to happen, because they have an orbital ray of their own, unless they're just going to give this point. A lot of teams do opt to do this as well. They're like, you know what? We're just going to take point D instead. Or point B, I'm sorry. We're just going to take point B instead. You know, why not?
I think that's the right thing to do here if you're the Vicious Outlaws. No reason to go engage into a fight, stagger yourselves out, and potentially lose out on point B and allow the Demon Kittens to even up the score. I mean, just fight for point B here. Orbital Ray out again early here from Crazy Turn as they try to help their team find a very early fight. When Deadeye, though, from Amity Terror Surge out, but the Deadeye going to be able to find 2 through the Surge right there. Hannah Banana finding Spark, and everything going the Outlaws' way here.
I mean, there you go. The Outlaws do burn 3 ults in that exchange, but again, there's not... It's still favoring the Outlaws, the ult fight going into this next fight. If they opt to push it, they may just opt to give it up again, but with you having the Blizzard, you can potentially catch out enough people for you to get your team 1 tick here and take this map.
I mean, we have seen one Blizzard already get canceled, so there's an opportunity that could happen again here, but like you said, the 1 tick is not a lot here for the Outlaws. That's just one good team fight win. Ruby having Bob, though, might slow them down here just a little bit, but I don't necessarily know if you want to just allow them to cap point A again without contesting.
Yeah, you might want to force Bob at the very least. Maybe you force Bob and retreat. We'll have to see what they decide to do.
Well, Bob does come out, and it looks like they're just going to retreat here. They're not going to even contest it, so point B could be our final point here again, but you're still looking at the Demon Kittens here with only 1 ultimate to their name.
Yeah, and it's gonna be tough for them here, because Vicious Outlaws Crazy Turn already built up to this orbital ray again. I mean, you're seeing 92%. That's just like a matter of 2 seconds, and they'll have that ult online.
Orbital Ray up here for Crazy Turn. They get canceled, I believe it got canceled there by Ruby. Blizzard, though, from Nero, going to be able to find Reveroni out. Spark, though, frozen, finally unfrozen. Rally coming out here from Hannah Banana. So now Demon Kittens, they have an opportunity here to take back this fight. The Orbital Ray coming out here from Spec. The Terror Surge from Spark, but Pika Pepper with 3 right there, keeping the hopes alive here for Demon Kittens.
And that's the kind of play that you needed to happen right there. You needed Crazy Turn to not get the opportunity to even use the Orbital Ray for you to really win that fight outright. But with that being said, Pika Pepper has the rally. That's pretty much all you're going to get. Maybe Ruby builds up to a Bob in this fight. A couple of good Dynamites, you can get that. But the Outlaws have still got that Orbital Ray. It never got used. Amity's got the Deadeye, and then Terra Surge.
This is going to be a very, very rough one here. Crazy Turn going to be able to find Reveroni. Ruby out as well. Deadeye now out from Amity here. Points about to open, so everything going Vicious Outlaws' way here. If you're Demonkins, you have to play it slow here. You cannot lose anyone else right now.
You do have Terra Surge online and available, and that's going to be your only thing. But watch out for Ruby's Bob. 5% off of that Bob.
Terra Surge out there from Chicken, not going to be able to find anyone, but they're doing their job here. Nero finds Spec, Hannah finds Spark. No touches coming out there from the Demon Kittens, and the Vicious Outlaws going to be putting themselves on to series point.
Yeah, it turned out to be just a little bit too many ultimates available for the side of the Outlaws going into that last fight, as we see Pika Pepper manage to get that play of the game, that 3K on this Brigida. Great plays from them this map. Another really close map too. Ended up being a 4-5 map. And you know, you can't be too upset with yourselves if you're the side of the Demon Kittens. You know, it could have very easily went your way.
But if you're the side of the Vicious Outlaws, even though you won that map, I think you let the Demon Kittens stay in that map maybe a little bit too long. I mean, it should not have gone back to point C there for that final one. It should have been something that ended on point B. Hell, maybe it should have even ended on point A, but the Vicious Outlaws were always the team that was just saying, hey, we just want to force out an ultimate and then we'll back up and let them take A. And I understand doing that, but I feel like that didn't necessarily help them there because they were one ultimate going the way of the Demon Kittens there from losing that map, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it was really that kill coming out from Ruby onto Crazy Turn on point B. Yeah, point B, that really turned that map around. Otherwise, I'm fairly certain it would have ended 5-3. Like as soon as Crazy Turn was taken out before they could pop that Orbital Ray, that throws everything out of whack. That like it's like you have this list down. You're like, this is the way it's gonna go. We're gonna do this, 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 and this in this order. But then it's like, oh no, they killed our step 1. Now what are we gonna do?
Kill step 1, skip to step 5, which is leave.
Yeah, basically.
But I mean, hey, we finally get to see, I believe, maybe the second or third series of the week here on CGL that goes past map 3, which means we're going to Esperanza here, which is a very interesting map because you do see a lot of teams run dive on it because the high ground presence after you get that forward spawns is something that is very, very hard to get through or get past. But neither of these teams outside of the first 2 points on Busan have really even opted to play dive. We did see the Diva come out from, I believe, Vicious Outlaws for a moment on Eichenwald, but it didn't really do them a lot.
No, I think we could potentially see the dive here just because, like you said, it's a lot stronger on Esperanza than trying to run the Orisa. But in that sense, I think you might want to run the Winston, but it depends on if you're feeling the Winston or not. Because I think the bubble is gonna help you a lot more than the defense matrix, generally speaking, on going into an Orisa specifically, because you can just try and like block off the supports a lot easier than it is to just try and run at them with a defense matrix.
Yeah, and it's going to be really interesting to see if the teams even opt to do that. Both of them seem pretty comfortable running the Orisas here, and I would not necessarily be surprised if we don't see that change there. But going to the DPS line here, I mean, we saw a little bit of different DPS come out there, but they have been heroes we have seen tonight throughout the series, just not necessarily a lot. I mean, we saw May, we saw Venture, we saw Tracer come out from Ruby again, but eventually went back over to the Ashe. I feel like this map, if you're Ruby, you're liking it a lot here because it allows you to play something like a Cassidy, something like an Ashe, very early on, and compared to where you decided to bring it out on Hanaoka.
Yeah, I get the feeling we're probably going to end up seeing like the Ashe and the Tracer that we've seen so far from Demon Kittens. Okay, so we're going to go with the Sojourn this time. I don't think, has Ruby played Sojourn tonight?
Yeah, they played it on Eichenwald.
Okay. So yeah, we're going to see that come out. The Vicious Outlaws hovering over, oh, never mind, we're going to see Soldier. I definitely am certain we haven't seen that tonight.
We have not seen that at all.
I guess we will see. It looks like that's what we're going to see. And the Vicious Outlaws going for this Kiriko Lucio, which I'm really curious about. I wonder what's making them want to play this, because these are the same tank and DPS lines that they've played previously without the Lucio.
Well, this is also the first time we've seen any difference in the support lines here for either side. It's been all Brig Juno throughout this entire night here as Reveroni tries to, get a one up here on Nero, but they immediately have to just blink out here and just play safe for the moment. But each team, again, we've seen this a lot throughout this series here. They don't necessarily want to go for point until they know they have an advantage.
Yeah, I mean, and there goes the DMEC. This is the go signal for the side of the Vicious Outlaws.
Yeah, and it's going to be a lot like dominoes here at the moment. You knock over the first one, then the rest will shortly fall after it here. You find Spark, you find Spec, but it seems like Demonkins, they got to escape with at least 3 of those dominoes still standing.
Yeah, so you're going to have a little bit faster of a regroup, which you definitely like to see. But, I mean, just look at this ult advantage right now going in the favor of the Outlaws. Nothing going to come out just yet, but just them having this massive advantage, and Nero just continuing to go around the map and just pester everybody on this Tracer.
Yeah, and that was one thing that Kittens really struggled to shut down in the early parts of Eichenwald, was just Nero being able to get in that backline almost for free and take out anyone they want. They know how to move on this Tracer. Really, really good here. Look, they're focusing in on the support line here. Has to recall, but Ruby right there, not going to be able to do a lot, though. They just blink out. Ruby just trying to focus in on the high ground there for the Outlaws.
And, yeah, I mean, oh, here comes the pulse. Oh, no.
Well, it gets one that time. Not going to be able to find the 2 that it normally does, but you still get rid of Pika Pepper, who is a vital part to this Demon Kitten squad. Spark trying to eat up as much damage as they can, but they're looking a little bit worse for Warrior. Has to fall back, and that's going to be the Outlaws getting those forward spawns.
Yeah, forward spawns, very, very important here. And Ultimate's still just heavily in the favor of the Outlaws. You are going to have your Orbital Ray if you're Spec, but you got to run into a Kitsune Rush, so it's going to be tough no matter what you do here.
Well, Kitsune Rush out going to be responded to with the Orbital Ray. Pulse Bomb does get stuck there, but Reveroni kills them before they can get the credit for the Pulse Bomb kill. But Rui popping the visor is going to be able to do enough here to really carry the Demon Kittens through this fight. But you do invest 3 ultimates into this one here. However, if you're the Outlaws, you also invested, I believe, only 1?
Yeah, I think Kitsune and Bomb. I believe Chicken used Bomb. Yeah, Chicken did use Bomb. Yeah, so you got 2 out. You're going to have the sound barrier coming available here shortly, but I mean, honestly, you're probably just going to use it to offensively engage because you don't have anything you're really afraid of from the Demon Kittens. So Hannah Banana should be popping this sound barrier probably the moment that they get it for just a strong offensive engage.
Well, the main thing right now is they need to keep Hannah Banana alive. They almost get taken out there very early on. Ruby, though, gets pressured out by Chicken and Amity right there. So, again, that's been the biggest problem here for Outlaws so far. Getting rid of them very early on is a good thing for them. Rally coming out here from Pika Pepper as they just try to keep themselves in this fight. Beat coming out from Hannah Banana, like you said, very early on there. Overclock now coming out from Amity. They're going to get stunned to death, and then the bomb will take care of them there. The bomb also going to be able to demech Chicken. So that's actually going to be a huge fight victory here for the Demon Kittens because Outlaws did not reset the forward spawns, which means they are going all the way back to the initial spawn.
And that's exactly what you needed if you're the Demon Kittens. This is going to give you the opportunity to probably get this up to like 35 or 40 before the next engage happens. And we're basically at 0 here, right? Nero does have this pulse bomb. So if you're Pika Pepper and Spec, you need to be just watching out here because Nero has just been crazy good with these pulse bombs. But that being said, Reveroni has a pulse bomb too. So don't think that they can't stick one as well.
Well, Nero's going to be able to find Ruby out there. It's up to really Reveroni right now to just check them here. They're going to be able to get the nice combo there to get rid of them. However, Cart is slowly moving back towards the other way as the Outlaws just took it, but you are seeing the Demons here just clean up a fight, but you're just seeing kills go back and forth. A Pulse Bomb, I don't think Chicken meant to eat that one, but they sure did. However, Spark's going to be able to find Crazy Turn. It's just, like, we've seen this a lot tonight, where the fights just go back and forth. It seems like the Kitten should come out on top here, especially demeching Chicken, but I've seen weird stuff happen.
Yeah, no, and I mean, Nero still has their Pulse Bomb available to them as well. So don't look now, but you know how good they've been at sticking those lately. And here they go, probably gonna go for it. No, maybe not.
Bomb coming out from Spark as they get demeched here, just get back into their own mech. Actually, okay, no, they got back into their mech there. They're still holding on to their bomb, but look at the Outlaws. 3 ultimates ready to go. Hannah Banana and Amity can build up to their own incredibly quickly here. But Demons, they need to find something here fast. They cannot lose out early, but you do see the Outlaws invest that Kitsune rush, and oh, Pika Pepper has to be dashing back to their team, not going to be able to find anything there. Bomb coming out from Spark to try to get them back into that mech here, but you will get the kill there. Swap on to Hannah Banana. Nero trying to focus in on Spec as the orbital ray comes out from them. Spark does find Amity here, so if you're the Demokins, you have to be liking your odds now in this engagement because that bot really hasn't moved back at all, and once you get someone on it, you should be able to potentially get forward spawns off this fight.
Great fight win from the side of the Kittens. It was really the orbital ray that really just flipped it on its head. And that's what you really love to see. Nero still in position in this back line, looking for this pulse bomb stick.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! They're not going to be able to get not going to be able to get the stick this time around. Nice attention to detail there by Pika Pepper to catch them out, but so close to those forward spawns. Or did they get the forward spawns? I think they got the forward spawns there.
I think they got them. Yeah, it looks like they did at least.
It looks like they did, so this puts the Demokins in a very, very good spot here with just over or under 4 minutes to go here. Only down a little bit. Rebaroni's pulse bomb going to be able to land, and they find Amity out as well. Overclock coming out here from Ruby, and look at what it does here to the Outlaws, specifically Chicken, as they just go running away. Suzu being invested here very early on, but they want to keep Chicken alive. However, as that all goes on, the Demokins now in the lead.
And that's what you want to see if you're the Demon Kittens. Great pulse bomb from Reveroni, and just managing to force the entirety of the Vicious Outlaws back. I love this beat engage, though, from the Outlaws.
If the Demon Kittens can escape with most of their lives, it will be a huge benefit to them, but they lose Spec early, followed by Pika Pepper, and now the rest of their team just going to end up losing out here. Ruby does find one, but they find only that one. Spark out of the fray, and Reveroni just trying to stall out this point as long as they can, but probably not the smartest thing to do, considering the rest of your team is gonna get those forward spawns. Actually, no. 3 members are not gonna get those forward spawns. That's rough for the Kittens there.
Oh, that is so rough. You might end up losing a lead off of this as well. I doubt you're gonna be able to get a full contest before we get over to like 79-ish meters or so. And then Vicious Outlaws gonna have a lot of ults to engage with here as well.
Chicken's demeched here, so if you can find that pick early on here, it would be huge, but you don't, and instead it's Reveroni losing out their own life, trying to get rid of them. Kitsune Rush out here from Crazy Turn. You do see Amity pop the overclock, just looking to find anyone, but no one's really around Nero, though. The pulse bomb sticks are back in their favor. Going to be able to find Pika Pepper. Spark using their bomb, don't want to disengage from this fight, especially when you look at the car and where it is. It looks like the Outlaw is going to be retaking the lead here, and if you're the Demokins, you have to just fall back and regroup off this.
Oh, maybe not if you're Reveroni.
Okay, yeah, or not. You are absolutely right there. They find Hannah Banana, but you still have to deal with the rest of Vicious Outlaws here as they continue to add to their lead, making about 14 meters now. Chicken does have the bomb here if they get demeched. It looks like they're going to get demeched here, but not invest the bomb. They are perfectly fine with holding onto it for another fight, and I think that is the right move to do here. And Reveroni, you did not need to die to that.
That's a tough one to die to, honestly, right there. You are going to have your orbital ray available if you're the Demon Kittens, as well as your overclock. That's a combo that we've seen them use a lot to some really good success lately. And honestly, the Vicious Outlaws are probably going to be able to build up to their own support ultimates in this fight. And this is a tough spot because you're not even going to be able to get any sort of forward progress until you win this fight.
Well, the big thing is, I mean, that's going to be really rough now. Reveroni was vital to get anything going here. The overclock coming out. You do see the orbital ray coming out as well, but Ruby not going to be able to combo it this time around. Hell, I don't think anyone on the side of the Demokins is going to find a lot of value from it here as it just falls back. But hey, look at the bot. It's slowly moving back towards those forward spawns. And right now, if you're the Demokins, you want to just try to get those at the least. But right now, it looks like the Outlaws looking like they're going to clean up this fight, and they're already starting to do it. Pika Pepper falls. You do get the D-Mech on the Chicken, though, but looks like they're going to invest their own bomb here to make sure they have a mech right back, finding Spec out as well.
And I mean, you're not too mad about just giving up that bomb if you're Chicken, because now you've got Kitsune, you got Beat, you got Pulse Bomb, and Nero's been sticking like what 85% of these things at the very least. And Demon Kittens, all you've got is Bomb. Maybe you're gonna get up to Rally and Pulse Bomb as well, but it's a tough ask. You got to win multiple fights in a row, and we're in overtime.
Nero looking for the pulse bomb right there. Comes out, not gonna be able to find the stick. Won't find a kill either here. Someone from Kittens needs to get a touch in. They do that right there. Chicken gonna get demeched here. No bomb to keep them alive this time around. They will fall. So if you're the Outlaws here, either you're dying on card or you're just falling back, and it looks like they're deciding just to fall back.
And I mean, probably a smart play from them, quite honestly. You get the rally out of Pika Pepper, and you didn't burn any of your own ultimates, so you're just going to have double support ults to just engage into this fight with, as well as Amity having the overclock. And that's going to be a lot to try and overcome if you're the Demon Kittens. Probably going to require Reveroni to get a sick pulse bomb.
Yeah, pulse bomb for Reveroni has to be huge here. They almost get rid of it, but the pulse bomb, it had to be huge. Chicken, though, had to be bigger. Finds the eat right there. Bomb coming out there from Spark. They're going to be able to get back into their mech here. Chicken does lose theirs. The beat coming out there from Hannah Banana does land onto the majority of the Outlaws here. Overclock from Amity trying to get rid of Pika Power, but they're playing inside the corners here. Overtime has commenced. The touch has come back out to keep that overtime wick alive. Spark going to be able to find two. Kitsune Rush coming out from Crazy does not find the value they're looking for here. Demon Kittens keeping themselves alive here. I don't think the Outlaws have a chance to come back.
Oh boy, it's gonna be close. Nero is here, possibly has a touch, but they're gonna have to use all the blinks. They're not gonna touch.
Touch gonna come out just in time, just under a meter as Nero falls right there. It means the Demon Kittens somehow, some way have kept themselves alive in the series, and we're going to a map 5.
There's spaghetti everywhere, Dex. I don't know what to do about this. It's everywhere. It's just all over the floor. I don't know what just happened.
I understand you're probably trying to make a reference. I don't get it.
That is a, oh my goodness. That is an old Overwatch League reference there. It's called dropping the spaghetti when you just fumble a map incredibly hard. It seemed like the Vicious Outlaws had that on lock and key, and they may have gotten a little overconfident or something there, because it just seemed like they had that map absolutely in their favor, and then it just turned right on its head there, and the Demon Kittens took it, and now we're gonna have a map 5.
Yeah, but I mean, that's been that was a situation that we have seen Vicious Outlaws in a lot throughout this series. They're holding on to a bunch of ultimates, final fight territory, you throw them all out there, they end up winning, but this time it doesn't happen. And I think the reason why is when the Kitsune Rush comes out, normally teams play very aggressively into it because you get so much added, attack speed with that, or bullet speed, or whatever it is you're shooting. You get that much faster with it. You get your abilities a lot faster. So a lot of teams play aggressively into that. And I think that ended up hurting Vicious Outlaws there, because Demon Kittens seemed perfectly fine to deal with that pressure, especially, I mean, that support line or DPS line of Ruby and Reveroni had started to come alive there towards the end of that map, and they really helped their team out there to find all the kills they needed. And Spark, I mean, they had been kind of they weren't necessarily playing the best on that Diva compared to Chicken, but at the end there, they came up clutch when they needed it, and they forced a map 5 because of it.
No, absolutely. Like, the pulse bomb eat came out from Chicken, but it didn't matter at the end. They still just go on to lose that fight anyways. Like, it's just strong plays from Demon Kittens to finish that map out. That was a crazy finish.
To be honest, I don't remember what map 5 is. Okay. We do know what it is. It is going to be Junkertown. However, we're going to throw it to a quick break here, but y'all, we have made it to a map 5. That is something rare here in this season of CGL. You're not gonna want to miss it. We will be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. We have a map 5 on our hands, and yet again, it comes off a Demon Kittens win here. And Shadow, like you said, maybe the Vicious Outlaws spilled the spaghetti there. They messed up. They had everything in their bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's behind the scenes has been been something during the break here. But I mean, they had a lot of stuff going into that final fight. Stuff that you could have easily said, no matter what, they should have came out on top, but they did not. Some huge plays there coming up from the Demon Kittens to really make sure that they were going to a map 5 here. And I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to this Demon Kitten squad. They have been putting up a hell of a fight. You look at this series scoreboard here. There has not been a one-sided affair so far. It has been back and forth.
No, it's been very competitive throughout. And because as the Outlaws, you did not just stamp out the Kittens on Esperanza like you honestly should have, just based on like the scenario that had gotten set up there. Now you have to deal with Ruby Widow on Junkertown, and I've got to be honest, you probably have to favor the Kittens on this map just due to that fact alone.
Yeah, no, you really do, especially on the first point, because just of how long the sight lines are. Third point as well, you can see the Widow come out. I think Streets phase, once you get inside Junkertown, it's a little bit difficult for the Widow to maybe find some value, especially on offense. Defense might be a little bit of a different story. But the biggest thing right now, if you're Vicious Outlaws, we brought it up, it's the Widow. You cannot allow Ruby to get hot, because if they're hitting headshot after headshot, your team's going to be stonewalled like you were on Eichenwald.
And that's just going to be a tough thing to do because this map is so huge. It's hard. The thing that's so difficult about dealing with Widowmaker is the only real thing that counters Widowmaker is you also being Widowmaker and just killing said Widowmaker. But we are going to be seeing the Sigmas come out. I'm not super surprised by that. All right, Chicken appears to be playing Reinhardt, so we're seeing Ryan, Bastion, May. This is another way you can deal with Widowmaker, is just play the spawn game, you know? Widowmaker can't have angles if you're just so far into spawn that they can't even see you, so, you know, good idea here, actually. I like this. I'm not sure about the Bap Kiriko, though. I guess they're going for double immortality here, is the sort of idea.
They're going for a lot of burst healing. That's what I look at it here with Pika Pepper, especially since either they want to just try to play from this room and only this room, or they're just trying to make sure that they don't, you know, get picked off immediately from spawn. It looks like they're actually just gonna try to play in that room.
Interesting. So you can contest from that room on the cart. So I guess that's what they're going to try and do, is just stop the cart from moving any further than that bridge, or you got to walk into Bastion May Reinhardt.
Reveroni just looked to the right and found the entire team right there. It's like, oh, that's where they are.
That's not something that you see every day, I have to imagine. I wonder if they're prepared for this or even know what to do with this.
Have you ever seen it? Because I'm going to be honest, this is the first time I've ever seen this strategy come out from a defending team here. But if Reveroni, I mean, right now the biggest problem on the side of the Outlaws will be Amity. We saw how they just kind of melted through Spark last time they played that Bastion. If Reveroni can just annoy Amity in that back line, it's going to be huge. Junkrat coming out here from Ruby. Yeah. It's a good thing, especially if you're just trying to melt the shield. But look, very aggressively now, Reveroni almost getting rid of Amity. The torpedo's going to be able to find Amity out. And now, I mean, you put yourself into a small room, you're just looking for trouble at that point.
Yeah, and I mean, look at Spark, 86% on this ultimate already, this Gravitic Flux. And I love that swap by Ruby to the Junkrat. Something that you wouldn't necessarily expect, but it counters exactly what the side of the Outlaws were trying to do there. And you get first point off of it. So now Ruby has the opportunity to potentially walk back into spawn and swap onto this Widow theirself. But I guess we'll have to see. Yep, there we go.
Nero? Nero's on the Widow. We haven't seen this from Nero all night long. I mean, the Tracer has been what they've kind of been known for here, and honestly, I thought it would find a lot of value, especially on the second point. But they're not going to play it here, so this could be really a very, very fun battle to watch between the two Widows.
Yeah, it is always fun to see a Widow duel happen. But first, this Bastion of Amity seems to be keeping Ruby at bay before they can even try and take an angle to fight Nero.
I mean, right now they're just kind of marking where Ruby is, allowing Nero to maybe try to look at some other people on this team. But you see them there in that back line. Rubber really doesn't want to try to get caught out here by them. So I respect the decision. They're just kind of blink around. But the flux coming out already. But hey, you gave Ruby the space and the freedom to do whatever they want. They immediately find Crazy turn out. Now Hannah Banana has to do so much here on the brig to try to keep their team alive. Spark gonna be able to find Amity here, and Ruby finds Nero out. At this point, when you lose Chicken here, there's not going to be another contest. The Vicious Outlaws here, they're trying some interesting comps, but they haven't worked out so far.
No, they just they aren't able to take the. They're not trying to take the duel straight up, and it's just. The Demon Kittens, this is a really strong composition for this map. So you're just going to have difficulties if you're not playing something similar to it, because this is probably what you should be playing on the map.
Yeah, and I mean, look, 5 minutes on the time bank here for the Demon Kittens. They have ultimates to spare here. Nero will find Reveroni swapping over to the Tracer here. And yeah, a one-clip play there by Nero. I mean, that's just something you needed there if you're the Outlaws. Just something to get something going here. The Matrix coming out there from Crazy Turn on the high ground, not necessarily going to be used to really find a lot of damage. Instead, just to boost a lot of healing here to make sure they keep their team supported throughout this fight. Visors out. Pika Pepper now popping their own Amp Matrix. Spark, though, going a little bit too far forward, will end up falling here. Reveroni going to get some revenge there on Nero. Pika Pepper, though, needs to fall back here for a moment as they are literally on fire.
Yeah, but Ruby getting that pick onto Hannah Banana means that the side of the Demon Kittens are going to continue pushing this cart. There's nothing going to really prevent them now at this point, other than just, a diva being there from being Chicken.
Yeah, and right now you do see Chicken just trying to, hold the cart, and you see where Amity's playing, you see where Nero's playing. They're not going to be able to find the flick this time around. Ruby is, but Nero going to be able to find Reveroni, and then the other DPS on that side. The supports, not free game, but they're not going to go for them just yet because Chicken is going to be the first one to dive onto them, and you're going to see Nero there to clean up that one there. So finally, the Outlaws here going to be able to slow down the Kittens for a moment.
And I'm glad now we're seeing something more akin to what the side of Outlaws has been playing for a majority of this series, and it's working now a lot better for them. Nero on this Tracer is just pretty much unstoppable so far, and so I'm really glad to see them swap back onto this hero. They've got the Pulse Bomb available as well, so you might want to watch for that.
Well, they got the Pulse Bomb, and they got probably their main target on the other side already out here. Pika Pepper, maybe playing a little bit too dangerously, but Reveroni going to be able to get the one clip into the melee combo there onto Nero, allowing their team to breathe here for a little bit. But at the moment, Reveroni just going to start taking the card away as everyone on Outlaws just trying to find the rest of the team. Where did Bob go?
The cart? Is Bob on the
it's
cart?
on the cart. It's on.
Okay.
Yeah, Bob's on cart there, so nice play by Amity just to slow it down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty much what you have to do just to really give yourself some more time to get this full reset. Spark getting this Gravitic Flux out, though.
And they have to be able to try to find something off it. There's the Pulse Bomb stick from Nero. Doesn't land onto the supports, but does land onto Ruby. Already cleaning up the kill right there. And hey, the Demon Kittens, they had 5 minutes going into this push. Half of that time already gone.
Yeah, you're down to, like you said, down to 2.5 minutes already, just like that. And Spark opting to go onto the Diva here. You're going to need that high ground control to try and just do something about this hold from this BAP, this Brig, and this Ashe. Like, they're just doing too much. Reveroni trying to get in position, but getting caught out by Chicken immediately.
Pulse Bomb stick could come out there on the Chicken. Chicken going to be able to keep themselves barely alive. The bomb going to come out as they get DMAC. Nero, though, before they recall, getting the punch off. Orbital Ray coming out here from Spec. Ruby has to try to find a lot of value on this as the Amateur coming out from the other side. Won't really find anything, but now you're seeing all those shots be eaten up there by Chicken. Chicken going to find Ruby, and if you're the Demon Kittens, I mean, this is a lot like what happened with Vicious Outlaws on their attack phase of Eichenwald. They were rolling through the map. They lost the fight and allowed Demon Kittens to get back in on the defensive side. You just you just swap the roles here. The Outlaws have now come alive on the defensive side.
Yeah, no, they absolutely have. Only ultimates really coming online for this next fight. Pika Pepper gonna have the rally up and available. Nero getting close on this Pulse Bomb again, so keep an eye on Nero. If they keep dominating like they have been with these Pulse Bombs, it could get nasty for the Demon Kittens.
I like Ruby swapping over here to the Cassidy. Rally coming out, though, from Pika Pepper, as you do see everyone on the Demon can just invade that high ground. Chicken, no bomb to get them back into a mech this time around. They're going to have to deal with it here. Torpedoes coming out there, going to be able to find Crazy Turn, as now you finally see the Demon Kins getting a couple kills and going to be able to start pushing this cart yet again here as we've entered the final minute of this round.
And you get the pulse bomb out from Nero too, so that's a big key, I think. You're not going to have pulse bomb available for Outlaws. Amity is about to run into Bob, so that could prove crucial here. You probably want to see Reveroni get up to their pulse bomb and try and get an early pick here if they can.
Ooh, almost getting the one-clip melee combo there on to Crazy Turn, not going to be able to, but Bob coming out, going to be able to start the cart or just force the Demon Kins to play back here a little bit. With less than 30 seconds, the Demon Kins have to have a quick re-engage onto this point.
And they should be able to do just that. They have the ability to. Spec about to come into this orbital ray. That's going to be very, very key for this next fight.
Chicken does have the bomb ready to go here. Reveroni has to keep themselves alive, though. The orbital ray is out. Reveroni looking for that pulse bomb stick if they can find one. Looks like they're trying to get on to Chicken. Not going to be able to do it. Ruby will trade out Nero, though. The bomb, though, coming out from Chicken. Not going to be able to find anyone. Spark has to use their own just to get back into a mech here. The Deadeye ready for Ruby, but as long as Chicken is alive, it's going to be difficult to find anything with it. Rally coming out, going to stun them out of it here. Now you're starting to see the Outlaws come alive here. They need to find a huge pick, though. Pika Pepper looking a little bit worse for wear, but Spec going to be able to get the D-Mech there onto Chicken. Ruby trying to get rid of Nero on this other side. Pulse bomb out from Reveroni, not going to find the stick this time around, but you do see the rally out from Pika Pepper, going to be providing that support there for the rest of their team as they find Hannah Banana. Amity taken out as well. Nero trying to do what they can, but again, somehow, some way, the Demon Kittens complete the map.
Crazy Turn, 98% on that orbital ray. They almost had it. That was probably going to be, that probably could have been a fight turner in the favor of the Vicious Outlaws if they had managed to get to it, but it just short of that ult. And the Demon Kittens just managing to get their ults right when they needed them there in that last fight, just having that slight advantage, and Nero not getting that pulse bomb off in the prior fight. All of those things put together, they just barely managed to cap that map out, but they're going to have an equally strong defense if they want to win this match.
But here's going to be the hardest thing for Vicious Outlaws. You know the Demon Kittens. You know what's going to probably come out here for Ruby. You know it's going to be the Widowmaker off the bat. They're not going to play the same strategy you did on your defensive hold here of hiding in the room. No, Ruby's going to be given the space that they love to have to find those headshots. You have to be playing very, very passively here. Very, very safe. And you see Nero at the moment trying to decide, do they go the Tracer or do they go the Widowmaker?
I mean, you may have to mirror it and just try and get Ruby out of the way. Otherwise, there's just so much space you have to cover. It's going to be tough. And looks like we're getting a pause from Spark here, potentially.
We might, yeah, looks like there might be a problem on the side of the Demon Kittens here. Very unfortunate timing for that, honestly, as we're about to head into what will be could be our final round of the night. We could have overtime if the Vicious Outlaws do complete the map as well here, but I mean, it's gonna be very difficult in my opinion. Like I kind of said, for this first point specifically for the Vicious Outlaws, if you give Ruby the space, we have seen them just take over fights on the Widowmaker. They are a Deadeye no matter what. They always seem to be fighting headshot after headshot.
And for the Outlaws, it's tough to cover the amount of space. It's just tough to cover the amount of space without just having a Widow of your own to try and duel. So like, you have to either opt into the duel or you have to play like super safe and conservative until you're able to get into Ruby's face and force them out of the area so that you don't lose anybody like on accident just because Ruby's that good at shooting.
Yeah, and it's definitely going to be a case why we're seeing Chicken stay on that Diva. They're going to probably be trying to dive on to Ruby themselves to try to get them out of the picture, because if you get rid of Ruby pretty early on, you can breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief knowing that the one-shot headshot machine is out of the fray, allowing the rest of your team to start finding a lot of value on their own as well.
Yeah, it changes up the game when there's a Widow available and when there isn't. Like I said before, you can play a lot freer, more in the open. You're not going to just instantly die if you step out just a little bit, you know? Whereas when there is a Widow available, the second you step out into the open, you're probably just dead off cooldown. Like that's just kind of how it goes when you're playing against Widow. And I like Nero taking this challenge here. It's probably going to be the easiest way to try and deal with the Widow.
Ooh. They knew exactly where the Widow was going to be. And I'm going to be honest, I've seen Widows stand on that spot a couple times, but I constantly forget that you could stand there.
No, it's tough thing to remember for sure. It's so niche, but you know, smart to force Ruby out. That's a great way to force Ruby out. So now you have much easier angles to try and take if you're the Outlaws.
Yeah, but look, Ruby's actually just playing from even ground. They're not playing from any high ground. The Venom Mining can go up, so they know where Nero is. And I mean, I'm surprised with how far up Ruby's actually standing here. They're decently close to the rest of their team, which I believe might be the reason why they're necessarily playing as close as they are.
Yeah, and you still see them taking some damage here. Nobody's stepping out, though, from the side of the Outlaws, so it's going to be tough for anything to really happen here. A lot of space being given up as well by the Kittens. We're going to see Ruby just retreat a little bit more probably here.
And they're okay giving up that space right now, because if they win a fight here, it will only start, the card will only start moving back. But you see Ruby, they're kind of worried about where Nero is, but it looks like Nero's really nowhere near him. Actually, as they look to the right, yeah, they knew exactly where they were here. Venomon gonna come out, with it being destroyed, Ruby knows they're up there, but Nero not gonna get the recall there in time, and that's the opening you're looking for right there. If you are the Kittens, not gonna be able to get the grapple shot, but you can find one more, and that's exactly what they do.
Oh, great shots coming out from Ruby. That's what you expect to see on Junkertown. It's tough having to deal with a Widow player. They just ran out of defense matrix there, I guess. Spark getting the nice kill onto Crazy Turn. A nice stagger.
Oh, and Ruby knows where Nero is. Not going to be able to find him this time around, but might be able to find someone else. However, going to be retreating back up to that high ground as Chicken and probably Nero behind them are coming for them.
Yeah, but that's why you have the sights up and available. You know exactly where everybody's trying to push from. Nobody's going to surprise you right now if you're Ruby. Reveroni looking for this pulse bomb. Ruby getting the kill, though, still. Oh, my goodness.
It doesn't matter. Pulse bomb coming out. Not going to be able to find a stick there. Visor out from Ruby as well. So 2 ultimates gone now if you're the Demon Kittens. But, I mean, I think you don't necessarily care. Look at the time bank. It's about almost, 75% of the way down.
Yeah, you're really not too mad if you're the Demon Kittens because you've managed to save your orbital ray, and that's the big exchange here, right? You need to use your orbital ray when Spec uses theirs so that you just don't lose out that fight, because that's really your only chance of losing a fight, I think.
Well, speaking of Orbital Ray, Crazy Turn going to use theirs, and Ruby trying to find that high ground Spec, going to come back with one of their own here. And now, if you're the Vicious Outlaws, you need to be backing up. However, Ruby taken out of this fight. Pulse Bomb from Nero, not going to find anyone this time around here. But you have gotten rid of the Boogeyman on the other side here. It is all on even ground now. You need to be able to find a quick pick here. Rally coming out from both sides. The stuns coming out from both sides as well. Going to be able to keep them alive through here. Spark going to use that bomb, trying to get back into their mech, but Nero not going to allow that one there. And it looks like the Outlaws going to be able to keep themselves alive in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, there it is. The kill comes out onto Ruby, and then it's a more free-flowing fight where you're able to push a lot easier. It does cost you all your ults, but, the Vicious Outlaws, or, I'm sorry, the Demon Kittens also used pretty much all of their ultimates as well, so you're really not too mad about it. Reveroni getting close on this Pulse Bomb, but not really much else available here, so gonna want to see probably a big play from them for the Demon Kittens to win this next fight.
And after an entire series where the pulse bombs have been very, very loud and very, very prevalent, this map, the pulse bombs kind of been quiet, only finding a couple picks so far. But Nero, I mean, you cannot allow them to have the space, but hey, you start trying to one-clip Ruby down, it's going to be a flashbang and then a headshot there for them. And it doesn't matter what character here Ruby's playing, it just is easy for them apparently. But Vicious Outlaws, again, off those 2 picks, just trying to back up and make sure they're not staggering themselves out anymore. Another pulse bomb coming out there, not going to be able to find a kill. So again, the pulse bombs kind of going quiet this time around.
It had to happen eventually. You got to miss some every so often, so that's fair enough. Not really too much available here, and then Nero just continuing to get caught out by these flashbangs from Ruby.
Like we've been saying, Ruby is a Deadeye no matter what hero they are playing. The hit scan heroes are the mainstay throughout this series. And again, losing those 2 picks right there, the Outlaws forced to back up again. Less than 2 minutes now for them to get to point B.
And I mean, you're building ultimates, yes, if you're the Outlaws, but Demon Kittens has the orbital ray to match you. and it's just gonna be it's gonna require a crazy play from Nero, I think.
Well, you get rid of Reveroni, so all that backline pressure is gone. But now you also get rid of Spec as well. This is your opening again. This is what the Outlaws did on the first point. They found openings and then just, you know, capitalize on them. It looks like that's exactly what they're going to do to cap point B here. Now, they're going to give themselves about, I think it's going to be 3.5 minutes to push this to, no, 2 minutes, 45 seconds for them to get to the end point of this map. And that is the goal at this point, no matter how much time or how little time there is.
Absolutely, and if you're the Outlaws, you want to try and just keep this rolling as fast as you can. So just try and get another quick pick if at all possible here. That's your ideal scenario right now.
Yeah, the big thing about the Outlaws in that last fight, they had ultimates, but they didn't use any of them. So they have a lot coming into this first engagement. Orbital Rays are ready for both sides. Bombs about to be ready for both sides. Spec to pop their Orbital Ray first, followed by Crazy Turn. But the Pulse Bomb stick, this time it's going to find 3! Nero back alive. The Pulse Bombs have been silent, but they are loud yet again.
Oh, what a great pulse. And then look at this. This D.Va's definitely going to get staggered out here. You're going to have to do it quickly, though, just because of the cart progress, but you do manage to get that stagger. Ruby opting to go back onto this Widowmaker as well, trying to get those headshots to finish this map out. Still 1:50 on the clock, though, so a lot of time remaining for the Outlaws.
And you see Nero there in that high ground. They're going to try to sneak in and get rid of Ruby here early on. But if Ruby can find one, it opens up so much for their team. But look at how the rest of their team is kind of playing around Ruby, trying not to get caught out. Ruby, though, looks like they might just forego the Widow. Yeah, go into the Soj instead. Pika Pepper and Hannah both popping their rallies here. Both teams recognize how important this fight is. Demonkins really need to win this one here just to give them a little bit of space here. But that time bank is slowly going into the Vicious Outlaws' favor. Overclock coming out here from Amity as they just look for anyone they can, but that'll buy them some time. They will be able to find Spec. Pika Pepper trying to run for their life, but you're going to lose the mech there if you're Spark. Bomb coming out. They have to safely get back into it here, but no, Chicken not going to allow them to, so now it's just a touch fest if you're the Demonkins. Amity will find Ruby there. You see some touches coming out. Pika Pepper going to immediately die. The bomb coming out, but no one's going to get back in time, and the Outlaws complete the map with 57 seconds more, so they will be attacking second.
And I mean, the key play there was just that pulse bomb coming out from Nero, getting the 3K and just allowing your team to continue pushing, while also the side of the Kittens burned their Orbital Ray and their Deadeye at the same time. So you essentially just deleted 2 ultimates due to you landing that pulse bomb, and the Kittens just didn't have enough to respond with after that. That was their response. That was supposed to be the fight that they took right there. So, I mean, just great hero play from Nero, and that's exactly what the Outlaws needed.
And also just a very smart play by the Outlaws there. When they saw that Ruby swap back over to the Widow, they basically just had Chicken kind of just stand there and say, okay, we're going to be marking Ruby. If anyone's going to be shot by Ruby, it is going to be Chicken because they can survive more than one shot. And a smart play by them, it allowed them to get some pressure on there because once that pressure came on the Ruby, you immediately saw Ruby just use the grapple to throw themselves back in the spawn and get off of the Widow.
Absolutely. And also, it looks like Spark is going to be playing Zarya here. So we're seeing Counter Watch in full effect. It seems like, at least they're just going for the straight D-Mech onto Chicken potentially here. Okay, no, never mind. We're seeing the D.Va come back into the mirror match. Ruby probably going to need to get an early pick here to really just solidify this push for the Demon Kittens.
Yeah, but look, the Outlaws know that Ruby's dangerous. They're not going to poke their heads out. They're not going to try to give the Demonkins that opportunity. But Nero is one that doesn't necessarily matter. They can triple blink over there, and you can see they're just marking them at the moment. The triple blink coming out, but it looks like somehow Ruby knew where they were. You see Ruby now just watching for them on that other side. They're starting to pepper in some damage here, but I mean, look, because of how Nero's playing this, Ruby is having to check multiple angles here.
And that's value in and of itself. The fact that you're making
Ruby
getting the pick though.
Ruby
getting the pick though.
Looking for the third. They know Nero is back there, but they're starting to be pressured out here by Chicken. Ruby almost getting taken out of the fight here. Chicken gonna be able to land the melee, but Reveroni finds Nero. They have gotten all the value they needed from that Widow pick and more. So much utility went in just to getting rid of them. The rest of the Outlaws fall by the wayside, and do the Kittens get the first point off this?
Ooh, it's gonna be close. The Outlaws are gonna have their respawn. Crazy Turn taking a year to respawn. It looks like. I forgot about these overtime respawns. But there's definitely gonna be a touch from the Outlaws. Are they gonna take it is the question.
Well, they do take the touch. Chicken gonna be able to find Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick! Looking for it. Oh my goodness! Will they find a third? They have the opportunities. They find a third. The fourth one as well. Do they get the ace? They get the ace!
Oh, would you look at that? The Widowmaker on Junkertown getting the 5K. What? What? Oh man, are we gonna see a Pine play here on second point? Just like see the flank and just get multiple headshots as well? Is that just what we're in for right now? I mean, that was a crazy little sequence right there from Ruby.
These DPS players get caused me to get a noise complaint. Honestly, they might already have. I don't know. I might have heard some knocks at my door about 30 minutes ago. But, geez, I mean, those plays right there, you cannot give Ruby the space. You look at the ultimates that the Demonkins have here. They're about to have all of them. Honestly, play fast here. Try to get yourself that second point, because remember how good your first point defense was. Ruby not gonna miss. A rare miss from them, but they do know where Nero is. The blink coming out, but Nero gonna be able to get on top of Ruby that time around. Spec falls as well. The ultimates finally starting to come out here from the Demonkins. The pulse bomb stick from Nero. It does its job, stopping the card before point B.
But it did almost get to point B. And that is asking a lot of the Vicious Outlaws. Yes, you have a minute 57, I believe it was, a minute 57, but that's still asking a lot because you pretty much you can lose one fight. Yeah, I think you can lose like one fight, but after that, it's gonna be pretty much impossible for you to lose a fight.
But like I said, Demonkins getting that first point in the time they had was huge for them, because remember how good their defense was on this first point last time. It took Vicious Outlaws about 3 minutes and a couple of ultimates to get it. If Ruby finds the value again, it's going to be impossible for Vicious Outlaws to, get anything. You need go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying you tend to think of Widow as being a more defensive-oriented hero, so it's gonna be tough even in that aspect to deal with the Widowmaker. You're gonna see Nero probably just take a shot again like they did last time and then swap. That seems to be the play here with this Widow. Practicing your flicks. I like it.
Where's Ruby though? Because are they gonna try to pop up on the? No, I like this play from them this time. They're not gonna be on the angle they were last time. Going for the grapple shot is going to be an interesting one, but Nero making the last second swap over to the Tracer.
All right, so no Widow duel here today, it looks like.
Good play there by Demonkins. Spark just throwing that defense measures up to make sure Ruby didn't die there, but Nero on the Tracer, and I think Ruby knows that.
It looks like they're looking for him. They saw that little peek from them for just a moment. Again, it's gonna be tough. Someone has to just walk out of line for Ruby to really get them here on this first point.
And look at where Reveroni's playing. They're playing that off angle. They're trying just to always make sure that they know where Nero is. I love how the Demonkins are playing this. They know a lot of this first point hold really does revolve around, can Ruby find a good opening that allows their team to play into it here? Reveroni trying to make sure Nero does not get into that backline on this off angle, but you do see the trap get triggered there. Ruby, though, getting pressured out now. Everything's peeling back towards them, missing the shot right there, but they're still alive. They can find a headshot here if they can.
Oh, and they're just looking around right now. Do they know Nero is over to the left? Yes, they do catch them out, but still just waiting for somebody to step out, and I don't think anybody is going to until Nero fully engages and tries to get this kill.
Yeah, I mean, look, everyone on the side of Vicious Outlaws is hoping that Nero can get to Ruby, because if they can get close, they can probably take care of them. Ruby is playing in very interesting position, because you normally don't see Widow hold here. You see him hold on the high ground, but Nero getting in that back line, not going to be able to find them. Almost one clips them down, but Pico Pepper is right there to keep them safe. But now look at the time bank here for Vicious Outlaws. There hasn't been anyone to die yet, but the time bank, remember, almost a minute longer, almost gone.
And yeah, that's how difficult it is to just cover this space and try and deal with Ruby.
Spark losing their mech here. Reveroni will fall, but if you are the Demonkins, I think you just try to die on point. Stall this out as long as you can, but they get point one. 63 meters is all they need, but you look at the ultimates. We are in for one hell of an ult fight.
Ooh, this is going to be crazy. I think the big key here, though, Spec does not have that orbital ray, and Crazy Turn does. If the side of Vicious Outlaws engage early enough, that's going to be huge.
Nero's pulse bombs have been huge in the past. Spark and the bomb, and Chicken has the bomb as well. Visor coming out here. Ruby knows where everyone is. One huge early pick could be the difference here for the side of the Demikins. Same thing could be said for the Outlaws. They're trying to watch where Nero is, but there's the orbital ray coming out. Reveroni, though, their pulse bomb finds one. Their torpedo's gonna be able to find Spec out. Rally's out for both sides. Ruby finds the one. Finds the second, gonna be shut down there by the third, but they still have their tank up and kicking both sides too. Rally will fade away there for Pika Pepper. Bomb out here from Chicken. Now okay, I didn't know you could do that, but Spark able to keep themselves in that mech somehow, some way. It's all up to Chicken now. They're gonna get D-mech. You see Hannah Banana come back out on the Lucio, and the Demon Kittens gonna be able to force a map 5, force in overtime, and win this series.
That's probably about as close of a series as I've ever seen, quite honestly. Like, that was insanely close. Ruby just time after time getting kills on this Widowmaker on Junkertown. I mean, look at that. There's one. There's the two. Do we have the three? Is the three gonna make it?
They got an ace this fight. All
no.
5 kills.
Oh, I'm glad they all made it into the video, though, because sometimes they don't all make it into the play of the game. So I was happy to see all 5 make it. That was crazy.
And hey, I mean, we saw how good Ruby was the first map on that Widowmaker. They had to hope that it would go 5 if they had not won it to that point, because they knew Junkertown was such a good map for Widow or for hit scans. When they went over to the Cassidy, they did struggle a little bit, but I think when they popped Deadeye that first round, just before they completed the map, it did so much for them, because you saw the rally come out. The bomb came out because of it as well. So they got one ultimate, got 2 ultimates out from the other team, allowing them to complete that push there. But I mean, Shadow, we came into this series here talking about how we didn't really know a lot about these teams. These two teams were mid-pack teams, really trying to keep themselves alive in that playoff hunt. And with this win here, the Demikins definitely did keep themselves alive, moved to an even 500 on the season, 3-3. This was a huge victory for them. We came into the series talking about how this was more important for the Demikins compared to the Vicious Outlaws, who came into this series 3-2. They now fall to 3-3. So that mid-pack teams here, especially as we get closer to the playoffs here in 2 weeks, this victory right here for the Demikins might be something that gets them into the playoffs.
It very well might be. And I mean, if you're the side of the Vicious Outlaws, this is a game that you need to go back and just look over again, because particularly Esperanza probably should have went their way, but it's a tough loss for the Outlaws. But you're just gonna have to recover from it, come back next week, and just try and keep the positive vibes going, try and get a win in your next match.
Yeah, I mean, this was an incredibly close series. I mean, we can go back to the overall map scoreboard here, and there was never a series or a map that was one-sided. You can't go back and say, "Oh, well, this team dominated this map and it wasn't a contest." No, Busan won all 3 points. We saw it be very, very close on Eichenwald as well, where the Demikins stonewalled Vicious Outlaws to win that map. Then you head into, I forget what the third map was. Hanaoka. And that one was a map where I thought that Vicious Outlaws almost kind of threw that one away, but they ended up winning that one. Then Esperanza, incredibly close. You even mentioned it yourself there. Probably Demikins should not have came out on top there. And Junkertown, we got an overtime map here. And man, was this one of probably the best series we've had here all week.
No, for sure. One of the best series I've casted in quite a while. So I was excited to just see it and be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, you can give a lot of praise to both these two teams here, but I believe we're going to get an interview here, so we are going to throw it to a quick break and be right back with one of the members here from our winning team tonight, the Demikins. So everyone, stick around for that. All right, we are pleased to be joined by Pika Pepper, one of the supports from our winning team tonight of the Demon Kittens. Hey, congrats on the victory here tonight. A closely contested series, man. How does it feel to come out on top of this one, considering how close it went on that final map, especially into that overtime round?
Yeah, it feels pretty incredible to win because a lot of my tank players, in fact, none of my tank players could show up for this game. So we were all kind of nervous coming in. And this match, I did the math. This has really good implications for our playoffs run to qualify for it. And specifically, when we loaded into Junkertown, I'm like, yeah, we didn't know the map pool ahead of time. But when we got to map 5 and I got to Junkertown, I'm like, yeah, we're winning. We just have Ruby and Widow, and he's just going to carry. And as you see from that play of the game, he did kill 5. Just Ruby go kill.
Yeah, absolutely strong performance overall. What exactly happened in the last fight on Esperanza? Because from my point of view, it looked like the Vicious Outlaws definitely should have taken that fight. So how did you all win that fight?
Let's see. So they Sojourn ulted up top, they Lucio beated. It also comes down to like our backline had to survive that beat push, and they didn't have the target focus to kill either me or Spec through the entire beat. So because we lived, we got to heal our D.Va, and then got to out-sustain them. Because like they're on Lucio Kiri, they have less sustain than us. But we survived their initial engage, so like Brig Juno's just really good at surviving and just living.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I guess just to add on to that, what are you thinking in those moments where Ruby is just getting those 5Ks and just getting those crazy just Widow picks over and over again? You're just seeing, because obviously you're back there protecting Ruby a lot of those times. Like, what is that? What are you thinking in those moments when you see all those kills come out like that?
That's why he's called a Zimmer. That's just why he's on the Hamcam list. with his aim, with his sense, I can see why people call him a Zimmer.
Yeah, but hey, you mentioned that this was a big game for your playoff implications. This does bring you to 3-3 on the season, and that's something that we brought up before we came to break here. But now, sitting with the final 2 games of your season ahead of you, you are in a really good spot to make the playoffs now. What is it going to be for your team to necessarily make that final push to make sure you lock yourself in?
We're definitely gonna have to VOD review some of these maps. And the reason why some of our tanks couldn't show up because we recently changed our scrim schedule, so I'm just gonna make sure, like, I don't know, make sure for sure that some teammates can show up. Because like I was told some tanks would show up, and then they just didn't show up. And I'd like to avoid that for the next few games.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that. But I mean, honestly, I have to give a lot of credit to your tank as well tonight. I mean, Spark did play incredible throughout this entire series, allowing, your DPS line and your support line as well, you and Spec, just to do so much throughout the series. But hey, Pika, before we let you go for the night and go celebrate this victory with your team, we're going to give you the floor right now to shout out anyone or anything that you want, man.
Shout out my team for being in the clutch, for winning that Junkertown map 5. And shout out to Spark for like, hey, who wants to play tank? Spark's like, me. And then yeah, because we have a tank. The Spark just volunteered to play tank, which is very good that he's able to play multiple tanks and not just one trick one.
Yeah. All right, man. Hey, thank you so much for taking some time out of your night to come do this interview. Congratulations again on the incredible victory for you and your team here tonight. We'll let you go now to go celebrate that victory, man.
All right, thank you. Have a good evening.
You too, man. Thank
You
you
too.
so much. That was Pika Pepper, one of the supports from our victors here tonight, the Demon Kittens, who, like he said, keeping their playoff hopes alive. And this victory here tonight definitely does help them out a lot. But I mean, Shadow, we talked about before we went to break. This was an incredibly close series. If the Vicious Outlaws came out on top, we would probably be saying the exact same things about them. This was so close between these two teams that honestly, I wish we could see it again.
No, absolutely. I hope these teams play in the playoffs again, some way, somehow. Like it ends up happening. I don't know how, but like just make the math somehow, because that was beyond entertaining.
Yeah, it was. I mean, every player that played tonight, all 10, had their pop off moments. We had Ruby on Widow, Nero's pulse bombs, which always found two. It found
Yeah.
three the one time and helped their team complete Junkertown.
Mhm.
Reveroni was incredible on. I'm gonna point to their Tracer and their Venture, specifically when you go back to a map like Eichenwald, really helping out their
Yeah.
team. Amity did a great job. Spark and Chicken. Spark, we learned, just off-rolled throughout this entire series. A great job by them. Chicken allowed their team to do so much. And both these support lines, there's nothing that we can necessarily say bad about either
No.
of these teams. I guess the only thing that we could say bad, which was one constant thing we talked about throughout this entire series, was the usage of ultimates in certain situations.
Yeah, sometimes there was some overults here, some overults there, but that seemed to clean itself up a lot more. It was mostly like a Busan issue. Like once we got past Busan, I wasn't seeing that happen nearly as often. It seemed like it was like a solid exchange, and then one team would just win the fight outright. So it's like you couldn't really be like, that was a bad ult. It was more like, no, you just lost the fight after using the ult.
Yeah. But again, incredible series by these two teams. Demon Kittens come out on top, and we came in the series talking about how this win, they needed this win to keep their playoff hopes alive, and they got it in a very exciting fashion. But that will do it for us here tonight at CGL. Just want to give a quick shout out to everyone behind the scenes of Headrammer, and that's it. Shadow, thank you, thank you so much for being alongside me for this incredible series. But like I said, that will do it for us here at CGL. Week 7 starts tomorrow, and hey, we're getting into the crunch here of the playoff run for a lot of these teams. A lot of exciting action is going to be coming up in the following weeks. You're not going to want to miss it. Make sure you follow us here on Twitch and also as well on Twitter, and join the Discord. But hey, like I said, that will do it for us here tonight at CGL. Thank you so much for coming out, and we hope to see you again next week.